time on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
A 2023 Wild Card rematch. The Blue Jays land at Target Field today in Minneapolis, Minnesota to take on the Minnesota Twins for the first of a 3-game series. Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for tuning in tonight. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Show Ali is our host. Nick Blackmore is our producer tonight. And Tom Young is our technical director. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by the local family-owned Crown Rust Control Centers in Spring Hill and Truro, Nova Scotia. Crown is proud to be Canadian-owned and operated since 1986, so protect your vehicle from rust today at your local Crown Rust Control Center or visit crown.com. Crown, Canada's #1 rust protection. For the Blue Jays, it's a bit of a bullpen day today. Paxton Schultz gets the ball first. We expect him and Eric Lauer to piggyback of sorts to fill up the majority of the innings in this one. The Blue Jays will take on right-hander Bailey Ober, who has given them fits in the past. They'll try and turn around that trend against the 6'9 righty. We got lineup standings, first pitch coming up. Blue Jays and Twins on the other side. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, streaming at sportsnet.ca on the Sportsnet app and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
At Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
Buck Martinez here to tell you about the huge Double XL free topping pizza from Pizza Pizza, just $19.99. That's a whopping 18-inch 3-topping thing of beauty for only $19.99. So hurry into Pizza Pizza today and bring a big appetite for a hot and fresh Double XL pizza. I'm loving this big voice. I may just call the game this way.
Go to pizzapizza.ca. Knock all your summer projects out of the park with Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer of the Toronto Blue Jays and your DIY partner in making your dream home a reality. From gardens to garages, back decks to front doors, refreshes and renos, we're here to help you cover all your bases and make every summer project a home run. Visit any of our 1,000+ home hardware and building center locations where we're proud to be locally owned and genuinely Canadian.
The NBA Finals are here.
Everything Indiana does, Oklahoma City can say, we got one of those, and it's better.
Join the daily conversation on Sirius XM NBA Radio. Frank Isola and Brian Scalabrine tip it off on the starting lineup.
They have zero weaknesses.
Then it's Rob Perez and Antonio Daniels on Give and Go.
Deserving conference champions on both sides.
And Justin Termini and Eddie Johnson get you ready for all the action on NBA Today.
They have too much talent.
Expert analysis and instant reaction throughout the NBA Finals is on NBA Radio Channel 86 and the Sirius XM app.
Hi, this is Alexa. Did you know you can listen to this game on devices with Amazon Alexa? Download the Sirius XM app, then tell me to play the Blue Jays on Sirius XM
Network.
Pitch to Miles Straw is smoked. Out to right center field in the gap and down, bouncing into the fence. Schneider headed to third. Big wave by Carlos Fabulous. Relay to the plate. Not in time. Head first dive home by Davis Schneider. 1-0 Blue Jays on a Miles Straw RBI double in the second. First pitch to Bo Bichette. Hit high. Center field. Marsh going back. Looking up at the wall. It's gone! 2-1 pitch. Hit high in the air, shallow left field, ranging out Turner. Kepler coming in. Turner drops it off the glove. It's bouncing down on the turf. In to score Schneider. Straw sprinting in behind him. A 2-run bloop single, and it's 8-0 Blue Jays with 2 still aboard in the third. It was a real good day to be a Toronto Blue Jay. 9-1 is the final score as they take the rubber match, winning the series over the Philadelphia Phillies. Welcome back to Blue Jays baseball after what was an incredibly entertaining series win for the Blue Jays this week against the Philadelphia Phillies. Now they take on a team a little bit closer to home, an American League opponent, a team they saw in the playoffs in 2023, and a team that they could very well compete with for a wild card spot this year. The Minnesota Twins are hosting the Blue Jays. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. And it is June 6th, Chris, but it does start to feel like these games are upping in competitiveness, especially when you take on a team this close to you in the standings.
Well, the Minnesota Twins are a game ahead of the Toronto Blue Jays in that wild card race. And like you said, it might be a little bit too early to start talking about that. But it might not be too early. This is a big series for the Toronto Blue Jays. It's a big series for the Minnesota Twins. The Blue Jays are going up against a really, really tough pitcher in Bailey Ober. He's not overpowering, but he has very good stuff. He has very good off-speed stuff. He uses the changeup a lot, and he's in the strike zone pretty often. So you have to be ready to hit when you get in that batter's box. I expect the Blue Jays to continue their hot streak tonight.
We'll see in a couple of minutes, but before we get there, let's bring in today's host. Here's Show Ali.
Thanks very much, guys. Welcome back inside Baseball Control, everyone. Show Ali with you at our downtown Toronto studios. We are waiting first pitch between the Jays and the Twins down at Target Field in Minneapolis. We'll get to the starting lineups and the Bet365 standings update shortly. Before we do that, let's set the table a little bit. The Blue Jays coming off a 6-1 homestand. To discuss, here's John Schneider, the skipper, joining Blair and Barker for his weekly visit, this time from the visiting manager's office at Target Field.
Is this the best you felt about your team this year?
I think so, yeah. You know, been a up and down year, obviously. Been some inconsistencies. I feel like you come off a really good homestand, 6-1. You sweep a team, and then you play really well against the Phils after not starting that series great in the first game. So I feel like when you're performing, we've always had expectations. We expect to win, and I think when you're performing really well, you get good starting pitching. Everyone's kind of contributing offensively. It just kind of makes it a little bit easier to keep rolling into the next day. But me, the staff, and the guys, we feel really good about where we're at right now.
John, you give a few more kudos to the bottom of the lineup. The bottom of the lineup's been really good. No matter what name you put in there, you ask them to, I was joking about the Lucas thing where he hit a homer and then you ask him to bunt. I know it's a tough lefty, but you still ask him to bunt when he hit a homer, right? It's a big deal. It just seems like they're buying into whatever you're selling. Has that been a tough sell for you?
No. It was really day one of spring training. Like, the message was just be you. You know what I mean? Be what you are, nothing more, nothing less. And I think when you kind of have that expectation, guys know when they're playing. They know when I may ask them to pinch hit, go in for defense. It's cool to have that flexibility, kind of at the middle, bottom of the order. And to have guys be ready for those spots and then to perform in those spots has been great. But it's they kind of get it. To me, the best way to explain it is, your roster is your roster, and it has to kind of function in a way that everyone's doing their part, And I feel like those guys, whether it's Ernie, Lukey, Clase, Miles, they're all kind of doing their part. And then you turn it over to the top of the order, and you're usually in pretty good shape. So, wasn't a tough sell. Told the guys from the get-go, this is kind of how we're going to do it.
That's a snippet of John Schneider chatting with B&B. The guys will be on Blue Jays Central all series long, which means I will be handling Jays Talk duties tonight. I'll be flying solo, so be sure to stay up with me, and we'll get your calls and texts in once this game is in the books. But before first pitch gets our game going, let's get to the Bet365 standings update. At Bet365, you can bet on popular markets like hits, home runs, and total bases. Download the app and find out why it's never ordinary. At Bet365, 19 plus, play responsibly. Ontario only. So I suppose we do have one final from earlier today in the AL East. The Rays did beat the Marlins 4-3 in the Battle of Florida. I suppose Orange Bowl is a licensed trademark, so we'll have to settle for calling this the Battle of Florida, maybe. Either way, they won. They are 34-29. Otherwise, no one else has finished their games. We have the Yankees at 38-23. The Blue Jays, of course, 33-29. The Red Sox are 30-34. And the Orioles, who are on a 6-game winning streak, are 25-36. Every team in the American League East is on a win streak of some sort entering play tonight, although the Red Sox and Yankees are actually playing each other, so I suppose that will not continue. Before we get you to Ben and Chris, who are standing by for the call, starting lineups for the Blue Jays. Bo Bichette batting leadoff. He is at shortstop. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. batting second at first base. Addison Barger's in right field. He is batting third. Alejandro Kirk is batting cleanup. He is catching. George Springer, DH day for Springer. He is batting fifth. Nathan Lucas is batting sixth in left field. Ernie Clement is batting seventh. He's at third base. Jonathan Clase is in center field. He is batting eighth, and batting ninth is Andres Jimenez. He is at second base. Paxton Schultz at least opens for the Blue Jays. All right, you heard the Let's Play ball from Target Field, which means we are very close to first pitch. So let's get you over to the call of the game. Here are Ben Schulman and Chris LaRue.
Thank you very much, Joe. In blue, the Minnesota Twins are out on the diamond right now in their City Connect uniforms. Getting loose is the right-hander, 6'9", Bailey Ober, 260 pounds from North Carolina. Ober is 29 years old, 4-1 this season with a 3.48 ERA and 12 starts. It's his 5th year with the Twins, 3rd year being a regular in their rotation. He's been really, really good. His last start, maybe not his best. 4 innings, 2 earned runs against Seattle. But in general, over the last 2 months, he's been about as good as the Twins can throw out there.
Yeah, and like you said, he's 6'9", so he really gets down the mound. That 90 probably seems 92, 93-ish. He has good angle on that fastball. But the pitch that he really gets guys out with is that changeup. He'll throw it in any count. He'll throw it in a 2-0 count, a 3-0 count. That's the moneymaker for Bailey Ober.
The entire mix is a 4-seamer change, slider, sweeper, curve, and sinker. He's never been a guy with overpowering velocity. That's never been his game, although it is worth noting his velocity is significantly down, about 1.5 miles on the fastball, about 3 miles on the slider. But with that extension, with the deception of not knowing if it's a changeup or a fastball, he's still got guys out at a very, very strong rate. He kicks and offers the first pitch of the game to Bo Bichette, and why not pull out the change right away? Swing and a miss by Bo, who I think just chuckled back to Christian Vasquez, 0-1. Time of the first pitch today, 8:11 Eastern. Blue Jays in powder blue, the 0-1 pitch inside at 90. 1 ball, 1 strike.
It's interesting that Bailey Ober threw an off-speed pitch first pitch to Bo Bichette. He knows that Bo swings first pitch. He jumps all over those first pitch heaters right down the middle.
1-1. Swing and a line drive, hooked foul into the seats down the left field line. Into a sea of blue, but it's hard to tell today if that's Blue Jays or Twins, 1-2.
A lot of starting pitchers will look at that scouting report and refuse to throw an off-speed pitch first pitch. But Bailey Ober throws that changeup so often that he said, I'm doing it.
1-2, swing and a miss, strike 3. Got him on a changeup below the zone, 1 out.
That's such a good pitch. Starts in the strike zone, same arm speed, same slot as his fastball, and then just dives below that strike zone.
First down for Ober. Wearing that blue and yellow City Connect uniform. He's got a yellow belt fastening up the white pants. Blue Jays in powder blue jerseys and pants with darker blue helmets. Pitch to Vlad Guerrero. Swing and a line shot foul into the backstop. It's 0-1.
How about Christian Vasquez back there? That yellow equipment.
It's a choice.
How do you miss your target if you're throwing to that?
The ball slows down halfway to home plate, getting ready for a stop. The 0-1. Outside with the breaking ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. Blue Jays at Target Field, one of the newer ballparks in Major League Baseball. 1-1. Swing and a bouncing ball hit to the right side. Fielded by the second baseman, Clemens. He throws over to first, 2 down.
And I guess we won't get you started on whether Target Field needs a roof or not.
It definitely does. We can start and finish it right there. But it is a beautiful ballpark, no doubt. 2010 it opened up. 328 to the right field pole, 365 to right center, 411 in straightaway center field, 377 to left center, and 339 to the left field pole. 2 down, Addison Barger up. The wind in the pitch. Swing and a fly ball, center field and deep. Buxton going back onto the track, makes the catch to end the inning. Very quickly, Ober gets through the first, facing the minimum. A strikeout, a groundout, and a flyout. No score, middle of the first. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Knock all your summer projects out of the park with Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer of the Toronto Blue Jays and your DIY partner in making your dream home a reality. From gardens to garages, back decks to front doors, refreshes and renos, we're here to help you cover all your bases and make every summer project a home run. Visit any of our 1,000+ home hardware and building center locations, where we're proud to be locally owned and genuinely Canadian.
Which loony dogger are you? Do you approach Tuesdays with swagger and style? You could be a Rizzy Glizzy. Maybe you're an architect stacking your loony dogs up high. Do you walk into the ballpark with the confidence of an MVD? Then you're the most valuable dogger. This season at Rogers Center, every Tuesday home game is Looney Dogs Night, presented by Schneider's. No matter which loony dogger you are, you'll have the opportunity to purchase $1 hot dogs from various concession stands around the ballpark. Looney Dogs Night, presented by Schneider's. Every Tuesday home game. For tickets, visit BlueJays.com.
Breaking news. Bet365 must be 19 or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connectsontario.ca.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Fastball painted at the bottom of the zone, and that's back-to-back strikeouts.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
The first inning is brought to you by Armstrong Bird Food. The reason birds fly north, feeding Blue Jays since 1986. Visit ArmstrongBirdFood.com. Thank you for tuning in today. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. No score, Blue Jays and Twins. Bottom of the first inning, and Paxton Schultz, the right-hander from Utah, takes the hill for the Blue Jays. Byron Buxton leading off for the Twins. Straight up stance from the right side. Holds his hands above his head. Schultz kicks and offers. First pitch outside, ball one. Calling balls and strikes tonight in this series opener is Jordan Baker. Chad Whitson at first, Dan Merzel at second, Charlie Ramos at third. Buxton, the longtime center fielder for the Twins, returning to them recently, coming off another injury, unfortunately. One-0. Outside with the cut fastball, 2 balls and no strikes. For Paxton Schultz, this is Major League appearance number 7 of his career, 1.84 ERA and 14 2/3 innings pitched. He's punched out 20 while only walking 4. His 2-0. Hopped up, foul first base side. Vladdy curling towards it near the first base dugout on the dirt, reaches over the railing and makes the catch. 1 out.
That's a really tough play for Vladimir Guerrero Jr. over there. You could see him looking down at that low railing over there in foul territory, looking down, looking up, looking down again, reaching over that railing and making a catch for out number 1.
And you can imagine running over to the Twins dugout, crickets over there from the Twins. At least I'm sure Rocco Baldelli hopes so. 1 out for Schultz, bouncing back after falling behind Buxton, 2-0. And now he deals to the left-handed hitting DH, Trevor Larnach. The pitch. Fastball just missed low. Pretty good pitch there. 1-0. Second start for Paxton Schultz at the major league level, and it's not a pure opener appearance today, according to John Schneider. 1-0. Outside, 2-0. The expectation is that Schultz could give them as many as 50 pitches today. They'd like him to go once through the order. And then Eric Lauer would probably do the same. So rather than opener bulk guy, it's more of a piggyback situation. 2-0 pitch. Hit high. Deep right field. Barger looking up. That ball is gone. A moonshot blast for Trevor Larnach. Second batter for the Twins gets them on the board. It's 1-0 Minnesota in the first.
And Trevor Larnach didn't miss that fastball from Paxton Schultz. His 10th home run of the season. 108 miles an hour out to right center. What a swing.
It's four-seamer left over the middle. And it was the second straight batter where Schultz had fallen behind 2-0.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing. You can't fall behind to powerful hitters like that. Yeah, that fastball was right down Broadway. But when you consistently fall behind 2-0, these guys know that you have to try to get back in the zone with something hard. And Trevor Larnach was ready for that fastball.
So 1 out. Here's Ty France. 1-0 Twins, and France hits the first pitch in the air out to right. Barger moving back and toward the corner makes the catch on the run. 2 down.
But that home run also isn't the end of the world. I mean, Paxton Schultz has enough time in the big leagues now. He's confident in his stuff. He's had a pretty good run here to start his career. That's a good pitch right after a big home run.
Welcome to the Timber Mart broadcast booth, by the way. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue, Show Ellie, our host, Nick Blackmore, our producer, and Tom Young, our technical director. Matt Wallner to hit. Another left-handed batter. 2 outs and the pitch. Called a strike. Might have been a hair outside. It's 0-1. Wallner, the right fielder, hasn't played a ton this season due to injury, but he's been really good. 909 on base plus slugging in 22 games. 0-1. Outside, he checked his swing at a cutter. 1 ball, 1 strike. Wallner was out from mid-April until May 31st. Strained his left hamstring running the bases against the New York Mets. 1-1. Hit hard on the ground at first. Picked by Guerrero just after it hit the ground, and he races to the bag. He thought he might have caught it, but he recovered in time to get to the bag and retire Wallner to end the inning. Twins on the board. Solo shot by Trevor Larnach makes it 1-0 Minnesota after an inning. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming on the Sportsnet app and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
The Stanley Cup Final is on Sirius XM. Can the Florida Panthers repeat as champions?
He scores, and the Panthers are back in front.
Or will the Edmonton Oilers...
What's up, Blue Jays fans? Thank you for hanging out with us today for the Toronto Blue Jays matchup. We are live every single Toronto Blue Jays game, and we appreciate the help that you bring to this community by liking and sharing this link out to your friends on Facebook, on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, whatever it is. However you share links, send text messages, whatever. It's all good. We really appreciate it, as well as we really appreciate those thumbs up. It really helps us grow this amazing Blue Jays community that we have here. And we've got to get after it for a playoff push. Our Blue Jays are starting to pull some things together here. Let's see if we can keep it going and take this run into some meaningful fall baseball. We'll see you back in the chat. Cheers, Insiders. Thanks for being here. Go Jays, go.
Place for college sports is Sirius XM College Sports Radio, Channel 84.
Alejandro Kirk steps in. Twins 1, Blue Jays nothing as we get going in the top of the second. Bailey Ober kicks and delivers, and Kirk hits it high in the air. Out to shallow left field. Near the foul line, Harrison Bader moving over, and the former Yankee, Met, and Cardinal, along with Red, makes the catch. 1 out. This second inning is presented by Bet365. Download the Bet365 app for today's baseball odds and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. 19 plus, play responsibly. Ontario only. 1 out. Bailey Ober has used only 9 pitches to retire 4 Blue Jays so far. A welcome change after his last start. His pitch to George Springer, called a strike. Ober didn't get hit around in his last start, but threw 97 pitches and only got 4 innings worth of outs. Pitched into the 5th, but didn't get an out in the 5th and had to exit. 0-1. Swing and a liner up the middle. Bounces on the infield grass. Picked up at short by Brooks Lee, who tosses to first. 2 down.
Well, I think if you're Rocco Baldelli, you're pretty excited about this start from Bailey Ober. Just 11 pitches through 1 2/3 for your starter. That's pretty good, especially considering that last start.
I'll bet you $1 million Nathan Lucas takes his first pitch.
I hope he does.
Lucas up, 2 out, spaces empty, and the pitch. Called a strike, fastball over the middle, 0-1.
He shouldn't have taken it, but he did take it.
1-0 Twins. Bailey Ober trying to get through a quick second. His 0-1 is cut on and missed, 0-2. Ober, a 12th rounder by the Twins in 2017 out of the College of Charleston. Long hair out of the back of his blue cap. He winds and delivers. This is outside with the patented changeup. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
That thing has a ton of movement on it. Started in the strike zone, went way outside. Pretty good take from Nathan Lucas.
1-2. Popped foul back behind the plate. 2 strikes and 2 outs, so this is a tough question to ask you right here. But Bailey Ober out of the College of Charleston, you had a teammate who won a World Series who also played at the College of Charleston. I'm pretty sure he was your teammate. He must have been. Later in your Charleston. 1-2 pitch is rolled over just over the hill. Charging in the second baseman, Clemens throws on the run to first to end the inning.
I got the answer. Brett Gardner, just like Bailey Ober, and he's doing the College of Charleston well so far. 2 scoreless innings for Ober, 1-0 Twins as we go to the middle of the second. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Be at the ballpark on Wednesday, June 18th for a picture-perfect evening of Blue Jays baseball. Arrive early to receive your Kevin Gossman t-shirt giveaway, presented by Ryobi, free to the first 15,000 fans. Find your seats at BlueJays.com.
Timber Mart, locally owned, proudly Canadian. Your home team advantage with the right materials and the right price. Project know-how that's brought together a wealth of plans and solid advice. Trust your team at your locally owned Timber Mart. Timber Mart always has plans to help you with your plans. Your home, your cottage, your garage, whatever needs your attention first, check the most visited spot on our website for ready-to-order plans to get the job done with Canada's Building Centre. Visit timbermart.ca.
At Crown Rust Control, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
Be at the ballpark on Wednesday, June 18th for a picture-perfect evening of Blue Jays baseball. Arrive early to receive your Kevin Gossman t-shirt giveaway, presented by Ryobi, free to the first 15,000 fans. Find your seats at BlueJays.com.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Called strike 3, change up at the knees, and there's nothing you can do about that pitch.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome back to Blue Jays baseball. Bottom of the second inning. Paxton Schultz delivers home to Brooks Lee. Shortstop and switch hitter batting left takes downstairs. Ball 1. Alongside Chris LaRue, I'm Ben Schulman. 1-0 for the Twins because of a first inning solo shot from Trevor Larnach. Schultz with a breath. And the pitch. Cutter on the outside edge. 1-1.
Ben, let's say this start goes well for Paxton Schultz. He's a guy who has 70 minor league starts.
He does.
Does he somehow find his way into the starting rotation?
I don't think so. I'll say why in a second. Okay. 1-1. Check swing. He went around on a changeup below the knees. 1-2. I almost think there's a chance he gets in his own way with that because he hasn't started consistently in a little bit. And I think they'd have to send him down to stretch him out potentially.
Or they can just continue doing this.
They could and just make him throw more and more and more. So maybe then there is a case. But I would just say I don't think they'll send him down under any circumstance. 1-2. Bounce the changeup. 2-2. So if you can do it up here, maybe. You had talked about it, though. I think probably Eric Lauer still has the inside track. You had mentioned having him potentially just be a starter. 2-2. Cutter hit on the ground, foul, third base side.
It's interesting, though, because I really like both of them. Starting, relieving, it doesn't really matter. Both of them have really performed well. Of course, Eric Lauer has a ton of big league experience. I'm sure John Schneider's looking at that when you want someone for your starting rotation. But Paxton Schultz he's pitched like a veteran. Just 14 innings.
27-year-old from Utah, out of Utah Valley University. 2-2. Throws inside with the heater. It's fouled away to the left. Goes into the seats. Still 2 balls and 2 strikes.
And he's not afraid to come inside. That 95 mile an hour heater right there, tying up Lee. It's a pretty good pitch. It's important, especially as a young guy. Young guys are generally timid when it comes to throwing inside with their fastball.
2-2 again. Outside with the changeup. You could hear it there from Jordan Baker behind home plate. Full count. On deck, the third baseman, Royce Lewis. Cody Clemens will bat this inning as well. Schultz in a full count against the leadoff hitter of the inning. His pitch is swatted away foul. Good job covering just off the plate outside by Brooks Lee on what was a borderline pitch. Brooks Lee, a pretty young guy himself. 8th overall pick by the Twins out of Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. (3-2) again. And Lee ropes the ball over the leaping Vlad Guerrero down in right field for a base hit. Wide turnaround first. He'll stop there. He lost his helmet. And he gets back to the base. It's a leadoff single for Lee.
That's a pretty good swing by Lee. Young player, but a really short, quick swing. That's a good two-strike approach right there.
So Lee aboard to start the inning, and here comes the third baseman, Royce Lewis. A name that I imagine is singed into the memory of a lot of Blue Jays fans. Lewis with a 2-homer game in Game 1 of the 2023 American League Wild Card Series. Plays in his 25th game, batting .139 on the year, 1 homer. A look at first in the pitch. Just low with the cutter, ball 1. Lewis, like a handful of the big names on the Twins, has had an unfortunate history with injuries. That's limited him to only 25 games so far. 1-0. Popped up, foul, 1-1. This season, it was a left hamstring strain that he suffered in spring training. That cost him a lot of the season. Came back in the first week of May. Right-handed hitter, slightly open stance. Hands high, kind of like Byron Buxton. 1-1. Swing and a miss. 1-2.
Yeah, you can tell that something isn't right with Royce Lewis. And I'm not talking about health. I'm just talking about mechanically. Is he seeing the ball? He just missed that fastball. 94 miles an hour, really down the middle. Was beaten by it.
1-2. In the dirt, spiked the cutter there. 2 balls, 2 strikes. I mean, this is a guy that for the first portion of his career, while he kept coming in and out due to injuries, he'd come in, hit 15 home runs in a 30-game stretch, get injured, come back, hit 3 home runs in 10 games, get injured again. There were very few, if any, slumps early on. 2-2. Inside ball 3. Until late last year, that's when things started to go sideways for Lewis. He had pretty much all of the second half healthy after some injuries. He hit only .207 in the second half in about 60 games. Runner on first, no outs. Payoff pitch to Royce Lewis. Hit well. Out to left center field. Headed to the gap, and that ball bounces into the fence. Coming to third, Lee. They're going to give him the wave. No, he stops there and heads back to third. It's Lewis into second, and maybe the Blue Jays are the team to get him going again. Second and third for the Twins after the Lewis double. Nobody out.
That's a pretty good stop sign over there at third base. Royce Lewis hit that ball 110 miles an hour off that fence in left center, but with nobody out in the inning, you don't want to take a chance. The Blue Jays actually made a good relay in center field. Bo Bichette got that ball quickly. And there's that stop sign for Lee to stop at third base. Second and third now with nobody out in the inning.
That's going to prompt a mound visit. Alejandro Kirk and Pete Walker meeting the infield, and Paxton Schultz out on the hill. And the Twins are threatening, already up 1-0. Second and third, nobody out. You start to see a little bit of movement in the Blue Jays bullpen. Eric Lauer is going to pitch a lot of this game. But John Schneider had mentioned pregame, he might not necessarily be the second pitcher. If they don't line it up with the part of the order that they intend to, they could throw any number of righty relievers instead to take on a group of right-handed hitters before starting off Lauer with some lefties.
Yeah, and generally speaking, you don't want a guy like Eric Lauer to come into a messy situation either. That's why you see Braden Fisher out there really getting getting his body going. He's stretching his legs a little bit. That's probably the guy you'll see after Paxton Schultz if it's mid-inning.
Blue Jays will play the corners in, the middle back, second and third, no outs. And left-handed hitter Cody Clemens comes up to the plate for Minnesota. Schultz with a breath and the pitch. Called a strike. Former Tiger and Philly. He was a Philly as recently as this season. Designated for assignment and traded over to the Twins for cash. Oh, 1. In the dirt, bounced the changeup in front of the plate. 1 ball, 1 strike.
He's having a pretty good season so far.
A very good season.
247, 5 homers, 12 RBIs.
The son of Roger. He was actually born in May of 1996, the year before Roger comes a Blue Jay. But Cody has never really gotten a big shot. He's been a utility player and a bench guy on a lot of teams. 1-1. Check swing on a change low. Appeal down to third base. No swing. Still 2-1. He's starting to get that opportunity now. He was really, kind of a taxi squad guy for the Phillies. Maybe a tiny bit more run for the Tigers, but still not a lot. For the Twins, unless it's a lefty starter, he's going to be in there most days. 2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Cutter bottom middle of the zone. Clemens out in front of it, 2-2.
I think it's also easy to forget that it's really difficult to be a guy off the bench.
For sure.
And just come into a ball game and be expected to get a base hit or come up with a big home run, especially being a lefty.
Schultz is 2-2. Hit on the ground towards second base. The run will come in to score as Andres Jimenez throws over to first. Lee advances home. Lewis goes up to third. An RBI ground out for Clemens. It's 2-0 Twins with a runner on third and 1 out now in the inning.
And I'm wondering if the Blue Jays will bring the infield in now. I think that run at third base becomes a little bit more important. You're down 2-0 now. Very good pitcher on the mound for the Minnesota Twins, and Bailey Ober doesn't really give up much. And I think they are bringing the infield in.
Infield has moved to the edge of the infield grass. Harrison Bader to the plate. First pitch down and away, ball 1. Curly blonde hair coming out of the back of the helmet for Harrison Bader, who is a longtime Cardinal, but at this point has moved around a fair bit in his career. Time with the Yankees, the Reds, the Mets all of last year, and now a Twin. 1-0. Foul tipped, threw the cutter up and in, or rather the changeup. 1 ball, 1 strike.
I haven't seen Harrison Bader without the helmet on, but that looks like it could be a very good mullet.
It is a good It is a good mullet. And I feel like it played in New York very well. 1-1. High, 2 balls, 1 strike. Bader, a Gold Glover in his time with St. Louis. He was a Cardinal from 17 until the middle of 22. Went the other way in one of the Jordan Montgomery trades. Played parts of 2 seasons with the Yankees, but was let go of when the Yankees were struggling in 23. 2-1 pitch, check swing liner, foul, 2-2. Then he joins the Reds just to finish off the 23 season, and spent last year with the Mets. Had a nice year, played a career high 143 games, hit 12 homers. He's a defense first guy, a former Gold Glover, but held his own with the bat. Runner on third, 1 out, the 2-2 is hit away foul. They were looking to go up and in. They went down and away. Bader just got a little piece of it to stay alive.
This is totally unrelated to baseball, but I watched a YouTube video of Harrison Bader's shoe closet. It's the size of a bedroom.
Then what are, what's Aaron Judge's shoe closet? 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Got him on the elevated heater. Bader goes down for the second out of the frame.
That's a really good elevated heater. You can see Alejandro Kirk set up above the strike zone. That one was actually in the strike zone, but it had just enough velo on it, just enough life to get past that bat of Bader. Big strikeout.
Schultz is allowed 2 already, but if he can keep it there, it's much more palatable for the Blue Jays than perhaps a 3-run deficit after 2 innings. Runner on third is Royce Lewis, and the catcher Christian Vasquez is up. First pitch high, ball 1. Puerto Rican backstop in his third year of his 3-year deal with the Minnesota Twins. Signed after he won the World Series in a half season with the Astros in 2022. 1-0. Called a strike. Froze him there with a cutter, 1-1.
You want to be careful with Christian Vasquez, especially because there's 2 outs. You have that big run standing at third base, but you also don't want to be too careful because Byron Buxton is in that on-deck circle right now.
1-1. Swing and a fly ball, left field. Going back, Lucas at the warning track, jumps at the wall. It's off the fence and down onto the track. Lewis in to score. Vasquez around second. He turns back to the back. He's got an RBI double, and the Twins have a 3-0 lead, bottom 2.
Well, that was just a slider that was supposed to be away outside, and it ended up down the middle. Not totally down the middle in terms of height, but that's a pitch that you need to get outside, especially, like I said, with that big run standing at third base. Christian Vasquez just hammers that thing off the wall in left field.
6th double of the season for Vasquez. Lucas did his best to bring it back, but he was sprinting as he jumped into the wall. Didn't have a great angle to make the play. So Vasquez on second for the top of the order hitter, Buxton. Schultz looks back to second twice and offers home. Buxton lifts it to right field. Barger backpedaling slightly, turns to his left into a jog and makes the catch to end the inning. Twins add to their lead. They score a pair on 3 hits. Big doubles from Royce Lewis and Christian Vasquez. 3-0 Minnesota after 2. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Not tomorrow, not someday. The home improvements begin today. It's game on with Timber Mart. Build that deck, raise that fence, landscape till your property is beautiful. Make no payments for 12 months with the Timber Mart Deferred Payment Program. Apply for a Timber Mart project card today and pay later, 12 months later. Financing provided by Fairstone Financial Inc. Conditions apply. Ask in-store for details or apply at timbermart.ca. Locally owned, proudly Canadian. Timber Mart is Canada's building center.
Buck Martinez here to tell you about the huge Double XL 3-topping pizza from Pizza Pizza, just $19.99. That's a whopping 18-inch 3-topping thing of beauty for only $19.99. So hurry into Pizza Pizza today and bring a big appetite for a hot and fresh Double XL pizza. I'm loving this big voice. I may just call the game this way.
Go to pizzapizza.ca. Breaking news coming in from Bet365, where every nail-biting over Bet365. Must be 19 or older, Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connectsontario.ca.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Clement vacuums it up, throws to second one, and then is to first. Double play.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
The third inning is brought to you by the local family-owned Crown Rust Control Centers in Spring Hill and Truro, Nova Scotia. Crown is proud to be Canadian-owned and operated since 1986, so protect your vehicle from rust today at your local Crown Rust Control Center. Visit crown.com. Crown, Canada's #1 rust protection. Ernie Clement leads it off for the Blue Jays. 3-0 Twins, top of the third, and the pitch from Bailey Ober called a strike, 0-1. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Bailey Ober has seen the Blue Jays a fair bit. This is his 6th start against them in his career. 0-1. Outside with the breaking ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. For the most part, it's gone very well for Ober against the Blue Jays. 2-2 with a 2.70 ERA. 1-1. Bounce foul, 1-2. Last year was really the peak of that. 2 starts for Ober against the Blue Jays. 1 in Toronto on May 12th. 6 1/3, 1 hit, no runs, 10 strikeouts. His 1-2. Check swing on a pitch low, peel down to first base, and it did not go. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Second start for Ober, so he already did 6 1/3 shutty, 10 strikeouts. Then in September in Minnesota, he goes 6 1-run. 2-2 to Clement is roped foul on the line. Still 2 balls, 2 strikes. So 6 innings, 1 hit, 1 run, 3 walks, 8 strikeouts. So in 12 1/3 innings last year, not only did he give up 1 run to the Blue Jays, he gave up 2 hits total.
This is a guy that throws 91 miles an hour. Maybe not last year, but
91.5 was his average last year, or 92.
Yeah. Pretty impressive.
I mean, a very good pitcher. Hasn't been an all-star, but you figure maybe gets 1 or 2 in his career. 2-2 pitch outside, ball 3.
Well, if he continues pitching like he's pitching this year, he'll get it this year.
One funny thing, though, he gave up 1 run last year to the Blue Jays, and it was a solo home run to Ernie Clement, who swings at the 3-2 and pops it up. First base side foul. Ty France on the grass foul territory makes the catch, 1 out.
It's interesting you say that because they were very careful with Ernie Clement. They went sweeper, slider, changeup, sweeper, and then mixed in that 4-seam fastball. Kind of caught Ernie off guard. I'm assuming he was thinking another off-speed pitch, but that's a good sequence right there.
This is part of what makes Ober so tough. Not only does he get down the mound, so his pitches probably play up a little more than his velocity. He pitches to Jonathan Clase, called strike. But because he's willing and able to throw that changeup whenever, it's got to linger in the hitter's head. They don't know when a fastball is coming versus a change. 0-1. Changeup, cut on and miss. 0-2.
And when you say whenever, you mean really whenever. He can throw it 3-0. He can throw it 0-0. Ahead in the count, behind in the count. That's really what makes him so good.
I'm convinced he is confident to throw a 3-0 change to Ohtani in the zone. 0-2, swing and a miss and another change. Strike 3.
I mean, that thing is gross. I wouldn't be shocked if he throws changeups to try to pick guys off at first base.
Well, it would sink right down into the tag. 2 down, bases empty. Ober has retired 8 straight on only 26 pitches so far. And now he'll deal with a guy who is pretty familiar with him, Andres Jimenez, the former Guardian. First pitch, low ball 1. Jimenez has 15 at-bats in his career against Ober, and he's playing the Twins for the 55th time in his career, his most frequent opponent in his Major League career. 1-0. Swing and a miss and a fastball, 1-1. Big game yesterday. 2 days ago for Andres Jimenez, who pokes one away foul, 1-2. Came up with 2 hits of the Blue Jays' 5 in their 2-1 win over the Phillies. Jimenez, a 2022 All-Star, asks for time. Now taps the plate twice, pinwheels the bat, looks out to Ober. 1-2 pitch. In the dirt. Speaking of All-Stars, you can vote Blue Jays and send your All-Stars to Atlanta. Voting for the 2025 All-Star Game is open from now until June 26th. Vote up to 5 times per day. BlueJays.com/vote. 2-2. Hit off the end of the bat, foul on the ground, third base side.
You can vote Alejandro Kirk and you can vote Ernie Clement. Those are my 2 guys.
I know you have to write and vote Ernie Clement.
I know, I'm just saying. I'm just letting everybody know who my guys are.
It's fair. 2-2 in the dirt, ball 3. I am not optimistic about Ernie's write-in chances, if I'm going to be honest with you. And I'm not that I don't think he's deserving of an all-star in general. I'm not super optimistic about Kirk versus Cal Raleigh. 3-2 pitch, low ball 4. Very borderline. Ober was striding back to the dugout. But in fairness to Jordan Baker, he called that same pitch ball 1, and then he does it for ball 4. And Andres Jimenez is the first Blue Jays base runner today.
That's a good pitch. Just caught the bottom of that strike zone. It's almost like Jordan Baker was fooled that wasn't a changeup. Andres Jimenez does a good job taking that pitch. He's now at first base with 2 outs in the inning.
3-0 Twins, 2 outs, top of the third. Pitch to Bo Bichette is hit high in the air, foul out of play right side. I think there'll be a really heated all-star voting battle at first base. A Vlad versus Goldie battle. 0-1. Hit foul, 0-2.
It always just comes down to, is there an obvious candidate?
And a couple spots there are.
Yeah.
I think with all due respect to Alejandro Kirk, who I think should be an all-star,
no,
I think Cal Raleigh is the obvious starter.
Right.
He's got 24 homers. Oh, 2 pitch. Check swing. It was outside. Bo held up on a big sweeper there, 1-2.
But at first base, there's not really the obvious choice that just jumps off the page.
No, I wouldn't say there's an obvious second base candidate. Short's kind of a two-man race, it feels like. Jacob Wilson, Bobby Witt Jr. I mean, Bo's heating up. Next pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3. Bailey over with a pair of strikeouts in the inning. He walks Jimenez, the first Blue Jays base runner, but still no hits for Toronto. They trailed 3-0, middle of the third. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
In April, Rory McIlroy completed the career Grand Slam.
Rory McIlroy, he's won the Masters.
Then, Scotty Scheffler won his third major championship at Quail Hollow.
Scotty Scheffler is a PGA champion.
Next week, the best players in golf travel to Oakmont Country Club for our national championship.
That may be a U.S. Open winning shot.
U.S. Open Radio returns this Monday on Channel 92 in the car and on the Sirius XM app.
Every night after the final out, the Round Trip Roundup brings you the scores, highlights, and analysis from every game across Major League Baseball, all in less than 30 minutes.
Swung on and missed, strike 3 and a no-hitter.
It's the perfect way to get caught up on all the night's biggest home runs and best performances.
And a high drive, deep right center.
It's the Round Trip Roundup on MLB Network Radio every night on Sirius XM Channel 89 and every morning on the Sirius XM app.
Baseball is back. It's former general manager Jim Duquette, and every Sunday on the front office, we have you covered on everything happening across Major League Baseball.
That's right, Duke. It's former big league GM Jim Bowden. Injuries, extensions, promotions, demotions, and trades. We'll have you covered on all the news.
We'll bring you the front office perspective as the season heats up.
Front office with Jim Duquette and Jim Bowden, Sundays at 10 a.m. Eastern on MLB Network Radio, Channel 89, and on the Sirius XM app.
You want baseball? The doggy has you covered. Tune in to Mad Dog Unleashed for the best baseball coverage anywhere. Weekdays 3 to 6 Eastern. Sirius XM Mad Dog Sports Radio, Channel 82.
Radio Network.
Welcome to the Timbermart broadcast booth. Timbermart always has someone on deck to help you with any home improvement projects. Before you begin renovating, visit the team at Timbermart. They've got the know-how to make sure you come out swinging on your next project. Timbermart, Canada's building center. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue, Show Ali, our host, Nick Blackmore, our producer, Tom Young, our technical director. Into the ballgame for the Blue Jays, left-hander Eric Lauer takes over, 3-0 Minnesota. It's the bottom of the third. Lauer against Larnach, left on left. And the pitch. Swing and a fly ball, center field. Almost hit straight at Jonathan Clase. Moves over to left center to make the catch. 1 out.
Eric Lauer has been really good this season. 1-1 with a 2.28 ERA. 7 ball games, 2 games started. And he hasn't given up a hit in his last 2 outings, totaling 7 1/3 innings.
He's been really impressive. Really, really impressive. 4-seamer, slider, curve, cutter, and change for Lauer. 4-seamer sat around 91.5. Curve is a big pitch for him. A lot of swing and miss. First pitch misses up top to Ty France, who showed bunt and pulled it back. Ball 1. A couple of former San Diego Padres in this matchup. Both of those guys, Lauer and France, started their careers with San Diego. (1-0). France squares again and pulls back again. 2 big misses, 2 balls, no strikes. Lauer's a Midwest guy. Ty France is from that area. Went to San Diego State. And then was drafted by the Padres, a 34th rounder in 2015. Still playing in the big leagues. 2-0. Called a strike, 2-1.
That's pretty cool. You always root for a guy like that, that's for sure.
A one-time All-Star. Had some very nice years with the Seattle Mariners, but 23 and 24 dropped off for him. At his best, though, he can be one of the top contact guys in the game. 2-1. Hit back foul, 2-2. And I guess why not? He played under the one and only Tony Gwynn at San Diego State. France batted .291 in 2021 in a full season. Made the All-Star game in 2022. 2-2. Hit on the ground foul. Got him to swing at the curveball. France beat it into the ground off to the left.
A good buddy of mine played at San Diego State, and we drove down there one afternoon to watch a San Diego State baseball practice. And I'm pretty sure this is the only time in my baseball career that I was starstruck is when I met Tony Gwynn at that practice. Just a special guy, special hitter.
2-2 pitch, hit foul to the right, still 2-2. By the way, the pitching change was brought to you by Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer for the Toronto Blue Jays, locally owned, genuinely Canadian. But France had said coming into this season, he was trying to tap into a little bit more Tony Gwynn again. Had maybe gotten away from that approach, had gotten a little too mechanical, thinking about his swing more than he needed to. 2-2. Hit on the ground toward third. Nice stab by Ernie Clement on the run. Turns his body, throws to first, and there are 2 down in the inning.
That's a nice play from Ernie Clement over there. Just continues to make the tough play in the hole on the left side, reaching to get that baseball, makes a throw across the diamond for the second out of the inning.
That ball probably sneaks through on a good handful of third basemen, but Clement got into the hole, had to reach out and snagged it at knee level, fully extended. So 2 outs and the base is empty. 3-0 Twins, bottom of the third, and the pitch to Matt Wallner is high, ball 1. Wallner not exactly a 34th rounder. He was the 39th overall pick by the Twins in 2019. Came out of Southern Mississippi. 1-0 pitch fouled back, 1-1. It was pretty cool for him, though. Despite going to Southern Miss, he's a Minnesota guy. Forest Lake, Minnesota is where he was born. About 30 minutes north of Minneapolis. Left on left, the 1-1. Swing and a miss at a good fastball on the outside edge. 94 there from Lauer, 1-2.
That's pretty solid. Actually, we've seen him up to 95 this season. There's some gas in that left arm of his. Likes to sit around 91, 92, but once in a while, he'll gas up.
He's got a little bit of that Gosman strategy in him where he just saves it for when he wants it. 1-2. Fastball outside, 94 again. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Seemed like he wanted it on that pitch.
Yeah. He's induced a flyout and a ground out already. 2 outs and the base is empty. 3-0 Twins. Wallner leaning back, the 2-2. Curve, caught him looking. Beautiful pitch. Started at the hip of Wallner, dropped into the zone. First strike 3. A 1-2-3 inning for Eric Lauer sends us to the 4th. It's 3-0 Twins. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming on the Sportsnet app and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Sports are all about moments.
One of the most incredible, miraculous finishes we have ever seen.
And you can hear them all.
He scores! Alex Ovechkin! There's a new goal-scoring champion!
As they happen.
Oh my goodness! Shohei Ohtani, a sayonara swing!
Live in the moment.
Rory McIlroy on his knees. He's won the Masters.
With live sports on Sirius XM and the Sirius XM app. Fantasy Sports Radio is helping you win your fantasy leagues right now on Channel 87.
Say goodbye, home run Aaron Judge.
From in-season fantasy baseball management to helping you prepare for your fantasy football drafts, Fantasy Sports Radio is here to help you dominate.
Don't ever take a player that you don't intend to keep all year. Don't do it. It's terrible management.
Fantasy Sports Radio, your home for fantasy sports. Channel 87 and on the Sirius XM app.
The NASCAR Cup Series is on Sirius XM. We're back on the track Sunday.
1 p.m. Eastern.
It's the Firekeepers Casino 400
from Michigan International Speedway on Sirius XM NASCAR Radio Channel 90 and on the Sirius XM app. For up-to-date betting lines, fantasy plays, and the latest NASCAR news, catch the pre-race show before every Cup Series race. Plus, 2 hours of post-race coverage on Sirius XM NASCAR Radio Channel 90.
The Blue Jays are in flight, leading 3-0.
Blue Jays fans, this is Ross Atkins, and you're listening to Blue Jays Baseball on Sirius XM.
Radio Network.
It's the 4th inning, presented by Bet365. With Bet365, you can watch thousands of live games, build your own bet, and you can even make a bet while the game's still being played. 19 plus, play responsibly. Ontario only. Alongside Chris LaRue, I'm Ben Schulman. 3-0 for the Twins. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. leads off and takes a strike from Bailey Ober. 0-1. Ober has dominated thus far. 3 strikeouts, 1 walk, no hits allowed in 3 innings. Next pitch hits the hand of Vladdy. Looked like a foul ball for a second. They check if he's swung or not, and the call is no swing, but Vladdy walking all the way back to the dugout now to talk to Jose Ministral and John Schneider. That one hit him on the hand, then deflected off the mask of Christian Vasquez. Hopefully Vladdy's all right. He wasn't jumping around or shaking the hand too much, so he seems all right. He's waving the hand now, but he is jogging down to first.
Well, I was about to say, that's probably not a good sign that he walked back to the dugout, but Vlad is always having fun out there. That hit him right in the wrist. Didn't square him up, though, so that's good. Just grazed that wrist bone. He looks happy. He looks like it didn't really hurt all that bad.
Better the wrist than the fingers, I guess. You know, those bones break real easy. Now the first pitch to Barger is tanked out to right field and way out of here. First pitch ambush. Addison Barger and the Blue Jays cut the deficit to 1 on the Barger 2-run shot. It's 3-2 Twins in the 4th.
Well, he continues to swing the bat well. 105 miles an hour out to right field. He got that 4-seam fastball at the top of the strike zone, and he absolutely unloaded on it. That's a big home run. 3-2 ball game now.
On the first hit of the game for the Blue Jays. That fastball just 88 miles an hour. Now the pitch to Kirk outside, ball 1. Now, I mentioned it's not too big of a worry for Ober that he's dropped from 92 to 90, 91 because he doesn't rely on velocity. You get down to 88, though, that's a whole different ball game. Next pitch outside with the breaking ball. Check swing, appeal down to third. He didn't go, or to first rather. 2 balls, no strikes.
Especially when that 88 is bell tie right down the middle.
Yeah, that hurts a lot. 2-0. Swing and a miss, 2-1.
But that's what this offense can do now. No lead is really insurmountable at this point, especially with how many guys in that lineup are swinging the bat.
Kirk, definitely one of them. 2-1 pitch. Swing and a grounder, hit to third base. Kirk takes off, charging in Lewis, throws on to first, beats Kirk by a couple of steps. 1 out. Welcome to the Timbermart broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman alongside former Major League pitcher Chris LaRue, Show Ali, our host, Nick Blackmore, our producer, and Tom Young, our technical director. For Addison Barger, that was his 7th home run of the season. He's gone crazy over the last month. Pitch to George Springer, swing and a miss, strike 1. I went back to look at it today because we forget Barger started this year not very well at all. He was hitting in the 100s for the first maybe dozen games that he had played. 0-1. High, 1 ball, 1 strike. But if you go back to pretty much a month ago, since May 7th, Barger hitting .323, near 1,000 OPS, 8 doubles and 6 homers, and that's before he just hit another homer. So make that .340 probably, above 1,000 OPS, and now 7 home runs as Springer fouls one back to make it 1-2.
Well, the cool thing about Addison Barger's streak is he's just hitting mistakes. When he gets mistakes, he's absolutely demolishing them, just like he did to Bailey Ober.
1-2 fouled off the ankle by Springer, still ball and 2 strikes.
It's just so fun to watch. Do not throw him anything thigh high, bell tie down the middle because he's going to hit it.
He hit that one 385 feet. 1-2. Bounce to the plate, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
It was more majestic than far.
Yeah, he hit it up.
Yeah.
It was up, and he didn't fully get on top of it, hit it high into the air. You don't see a lot of homers at a launch angle of 36 degrees. 2-2. Swing and a rope down the left field line, foul ball. For reference, looking at Barger's balls that he's hit in and around that kind of angle, with 45 being straight diagonal, the ones in the mid to low 30s, it's pretty much all pop-up, fly-out, pop-up. And then he's got 2 moonshot homers in the last 4 days. 2-2 pitch. High, ball 3. Not going to get George Springer to chase at a high fastball like that very often. He's one of the 5 best in the game in terms of chase rate. 3-2. Called strike 3. That one just clipped the top of the zone. Springer dropped his bat in frustration, and he kicks his bat away out of the dirt circle. There's 2 down.
That's a tough pitch, but Christian Vasquez did a good job bringing that back into the strike zone. I think it was a strike. George Springer's probably going to go back to the dugout and realize that pitch wasn't as bad as he thought, but Christian Vasquez, pretty good defender back there, makes a okay pitch, a good pitch.
Big miss of the spot. So Vasquez had his work cut out for him, but now 2 outs after the strikeout. Here's Nathan Lucas, the pitch. Called a strike. This might not be a terrible matchup for a guy like Nathan Lucas, as he just took a first pitch change. He's hitting well over 300 on changeups this year, and he swings at a fastball and hits it on the ground to second. Picked up Cody Clemens, tosses to first to end the inning. The Blue Jays get their first hit of the day, and it scores them 2 runs. A 2-run homer by Addison Barger makes it a close game again. 3-2 for the Twins, middle of the 4th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Buck Martinez here to tell you about the huge Double XL free topping pizza from Pizza Pizza, just $19.99. That's a whopping 18-inch 3-topping thing of beauty for only $19.99. So hurry into Pizza Pizza today and bring a big appetite for a hot and fresh Double XL pizza. I'm loving this big voice. I may just call the game this way.
Go to pizzapizza.ca.
Not tomorrow, not someday. The home improvements begin today. It's game on with Timber Mart. Build that deck, raise that fence, landscape till your property is beautiful. Make no payments for 12 months with the Timber Mart Deferred Payment Program. Apply for a Timber Mart project card today and pay later, 12 months later. Financing provided by Fairstone Financial Inc. Conditions apply. Ask in-store for details.
Hey, you! Yeah, you! I'm talking to you! Thank you for hanging out with us today during the Toronto Blue Jays game and making a difference in our Toronto community. Every single view, just by being here, you're making a difference. And now that we've gotten your attention, please hit that subscribe button and help us grow this amazing community. We are over 100,000 subscribers here on YouTube, and I can't wait to take this plaque up to SickKids Hospital this summer, possibly a Blue Jays game as well. Maybe even TFC, because that's what we do here, all the Toronto sports. So welcome to everybody that's new. Thank you for hitting that subscribe button right now, and thank you to everyone who has hit that subscribe button along the way and allowed us to get these awesome awards from YouTube and keep this Toronto sports community going. Now let's get back to the baseball. Go Jays, go! We'll see you back in the chat.
Called a strike 1-1, and probably could have went to a very major college program, but decided to go to Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, which does have history. It's the alma mater of Hall of Famer Ozzie Smith. Played for his dad there, absolutely raked in the Big West, and still got picked high, 1-1. Curveball hit foul, 1-2. And we've talked about this a little bit, Chris. For pitchers, you can almost pitch anywhere, and if you're good, teams like you. It can be a little more complicated for hitters, though, because they don't know the level of pitching that you're facing.
It's challenging. I think the saving grace for hitters really is Team USA in the summertime, Cape Cod League, leagues like that.
1-2 is poked out toward right field. Barger coming in, makes the catch on Lee, who hit .405 in the Cape Cod League in 2021.
Well, there you go. The Out-of-Town Scoreboard is brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill, 100% Canadian-owned and operated since 1992. It's the return of the Big Cluckin' Deal. All-you-can-eat wings are on now for a limited time. Visit stlouiswings.com for details. You are welcome.
End of the first period in Edmonton. Game 2 of the Stanley Cup Final. What a wild first period. 3-2 is the score in favor of the Edmonton Oilers. Royce Lewis to the plate. Lauer deals home. And Lewis fouls it back 0-1. Edmonton struck first. Or pardon me, the other way around. It was the Panthers striking first. Then Edmonton gets 2. Then the Panthers tie it. Then Edmonton gets a power play goal by Leon Draisaitl. Take a 3-2 lead into the break. 0-1. Check swing. Fastball outside. Appeal down to third. No swing. This is Chad Whitson. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, I can only imagine the roller coaster that you're on if you're an Oilers fan, if you're a Panthers fan. I am not on that roller coaster currently.
You have stepped off of the roller coaster. 1-1. Swing and a miss, 1-2. I wouldn't say I'm on the roller coaster either. I hope for and am rooting for the Oilers to take it home and bring the cup back, but the roller coaster stopped for both of us at least a couple of weeks back. Lauer stretches out his arms. 1 out, base is empty. 3-2 Twins, bottom 4. And the 1-2 to Royce Lewis. Foul back. In the world of baseball, we already have a final today. Tampa Bay Rays defeated the Miami Marlins 4-3. The Rays, who started the day tied with the Blue Jays, jump a game in front. Or half a game in front, I should say. 1-2. Popped up foul first base side. Does Vladdy have a play on it? No, that's going to go out of play. Still 1-2.
Seems like it's rivalry weekend again.
I guess what do we got? We got Miami, Tampa Bay. Is this rivalry weekend? I don't think so.
No, it just seems like it.
Well, we got Philly, Pittsburgh, and Yankees, Red Sox.
There you go.
You really had to lead me to water on that one. 1-2. Swing and a ground ball hooked through the left side of the infield. A base hit. Royce Lewis is 2 for 2. That was a slider that was hung over the plate. He reached out and got around it for his second base hit. He's now got a single and a double.
I don't know if that was Eric Lauer that yelled almost as that pitch was leaving his hand. That was a hanging slider. Royce Lewis did a good job hammering it through the hole on the left side.
Lewis aboard. Cody Clemens up. Son of a former Yankee and Red Sox, among many others. Lauer looks to first, and the pitch to Clemens. Called a strike. That Yankees-Red Sox game, by the way, it's not looking like much of a rivalry right now. It's 8-1 for the Yankees in the 6th inning, but it was 7-0 after 2 innings. Walker Buehler got hit around in that one. Will Warren pitching very well. 0-1 to Cody Clemens. No, it's a step and throw to first and a dive back in by Lewis. That was close, but Vladdy was saying don't challenge. He did get back in. Guerrero tagged him on the midsection. Lewis stepped the wrong way before diving back the right way.
That's one of the few times that Vlad actually said don't challenge. He's normally saying challenge, no matter what the call is.
Maybe it's the evolution of his challenge game. Guerrero holding on Lewis. There's not much of a base stealer, especially with the lower body injuries. 0-1. Swing and a fly ball left center field. Clase is moving back in. A jog makes the catch about 5 feet in front of the warning track. 2 down.
Speaking of Walker Buehler got the last out of the World Series last year, so this was probably a pretty fun game.
Oh, yeah.
For Yankees fans. It's at Yankee Stadium. Obviously, Walker Buehler starting for the Red Sox. I can only imagine how that went.
Should be a fun series, but it is 2 teams kind of headed in different directions right now. The Yankees and most of the East are very hot right now. The Red Sox are more trying to stop a skid at this moment. 2 down, pitch to Harrison Bader. The former Yankee takes up top, ball 1. Other scores, Detroit leading Chicago, the Cubs that is, 3-1. Houston up 4-2 on Cleveland. 2-2 Kansas City and the White Sox. 3-3 in a rain delay between Arizona and Cincinnati. 1-0 Padres over Brewers, two former Eric Lauer teams. Lauer with the 1-0. Curve, called a strike. Then you have the Pennsylvania matchup, 4-2 right now for the Phillies over the Pirates. Mets, Rockies scoreless. Mariners, Angels, Dodgers, Cardinals scoreless as well. 3-2 Twins. Bottom of the fourth, 2 outs. Lewis on first in the pitch. Bader takes another fastball for a strike there. 1-2.
I know that Royce Lewis isn't stealing, but he was leaning towards second base.
He's doing a good job of faking it. But he's been pretty clear. He's had multiple significant lower body injuries. He's also not generally that quick anyway. So I don't think he's moving. They'll throw over to first again. Lewis was all over at that time. Got back in standing up.
I mean, you're right. He's doing a good job of just keeping Eric Lauer at least looking at him.
I wonder maybe if you mentally know you're not going to steal, you can get more aggressive because your first move is always back to first.
I would assume so.
The 1-2? No, it's another throw over. Fooled me, not Royce Lewis. Lewis is checking that's 2. Again, I'd be surprised if he goes. He hasn't attempted one this year. But even looking around to the umps and asking if that's the second one is another thing he's doing to sell that he might steal.
He's a good actor. At least it seems like it over there at first base.
1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Gets him on an elevated heater. Another scoreless inning for Eric Lauer, trying to keep the momentum on the Blue Jays side. They have the last 2 runs in this game. It's 3-2 for the Twins going to the 5th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming on the Sportsnet app and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Dive into summer with an exclusive collection of sun-soaked specials on the SiriusXM app. From the heats, poolside party starters, to BPM's red-hot dance floor fillers, and backyard barbecue vintage hits. From classic vinyl, brighten every moment with exclusive feel-good mixes from your favorite channels and more. Just search Summer on the SiriusXM app.
Fantasy Sports Radio is helping you win your fantasy leagues right now on Channel 87.
Say goodbye, home run Aaron Judge.
From in-season fantasy baseball management to helping you prepare for your fantasy football drafts, Fantasy Sports Radio is here to help you dominate.
Don't ever take a player that you don't intend to keep all year. Don't do it. It's terrible management.
Fantasy Sports Radio, your home for fantasy sports. Channel 87 and on the SiriusXM app.
Hello, children. I'm Alice Cooper. Rocco Mediate and I are talking golf, music, and more on Rolling the Rock.
Jake Trout and the Flounders.
Oh, sure, yeah.
They were pretty good, except for Payne Stewart. I said, Payne, you're one of the nicest people I've ever met. You are one of the worst harmonica players ever on the planet.
Listen to Rolling the Rock on PGA Tour Radio or anytime on the SiriusXM app. And you better listen, because we know where you live.
From in-season fantasy baseball management to helping you prepare for your fantasy football drafts, Fantasy Sports Radio is helping you dominate. Channel 87 and on the SiriusXM app.
Sportsnet Radio Network.
It's the 5th inning, brought to you by Desjardins Insurance. Get insurance, it's really big on care at Desjardins.com/care today. Twins 3, Blue Jays 2. First pitch down and away, ball 1 to Ernie Clement. Welcome to the Timber Mart broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. 1-0 pitch to Clement. Swing and a line shot down in left field for a base hit. Got in between Lewis, the third baseman, and Lee at short, and Ernie Clement's aboard for the first time today.
Just a slider over the middle of the plate, and Ernie Clement has hit that pitch, at least recently, since he's been hot, swinging the bat a little bit better. He's been really good at hitting that breaking ball over the middle of the plate. No difference there, right through the hole on the left side.
Clement, a threat to run, 2 stolen bases this year, had 12 last year. And the batter, Jonathan Clase, a threat to bunt. First pitch, he squares and bunts through it. Strike 1. Vasquez ran out from behind the plate to check on Ernie. 0-1.
Royce Lewis was playing in, so I'm assuming that that's a sack bunt.
Maybe it's one of those 50-50 jobs?
Or maybe he's just not willing to sacrifice himself. Sometimes you get that with guys that are good with the bat.
They think, hey, maybe I'll just go beat it out anyway.
which is not the right way to think about it. When you get the sack call from the bench or from that third base coach, you turn around and you sacrifice yourself. You're not trying to get on base.
A 1. Swing and a fly ball right field. Hanging up for Matt Wallner on the edge of the warning track. He makes the catch. 1 out.
I thought he might have got that one. It was a changeup from Bailey Ober. So I'm assuming that it just missed that barrel, hit it off the end of the bat a little bit, probably about 15 feet from that big wall out in right field.
That pitch is half an inch, maybe even less than that, further over the plate. I think that's gone by 50 feet. Because he squared it up entirely, just off the edge of the bat rather than at the barrel. Ernie's still on first, 1 out, 3-2 Twins, top of the 5th, and the pitch to Andres Jimenez. Change up low. Good take there. A tough pitch. 1-0. Jimenez took a bunch of tough pitches his last time up. He walked in the 3rd. Ober's 60th of the day. Fouled back. That one goes into the seats out of play. It's 1-1.
I find it funny when big league hitters are beaten by 89. That's comical to me. Bailey Ober does that routinely.
It's got to feel good for a pitcher. 1-1. Foul back 1-2. Especially today. Whereas 10 years ago, maybe a little more like 15, the major league average was around 90 on the fastball, maybe 91. Today it's closer to 94, even pushing at this point 95. One out and the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a fly ball right field. Moving back toward the warning track, Wallner, and it's over his head off the fence. Clement had to wait. He'll go to third, up to second base, Jimenez. I don't know what happened. He just misjudged it. That dropped in maybe 2 feet behind him. I thought Wallner could have had that for sure, but Jimenez will take it. It's a double, and it's second and third for the Blue Jays with 1 out.
I thought Matt Wallner definitely should have caught this baseball. Ernie Clement actually does a really nice job reading that ball. He sees that Wallner's not going to catch it, and he scoots around second base, ends up at third base, but that's a ball that needs to be caught. It's a big play in this ball game.
Matt Wallner's not a bad defender. He's got a rocket of an arm out there in right field.
Well, he almost threw out Andres Jimenez at second base.
Yeah. I don't know if maybe it's just, it's a bit of a cloudy sky from what we've seen at Target Field, and maybe he just lost it a little bit. It's going to be a mound meeting right now. Pitching coach Pete Mackey out there. That's a huge break for the Blue Jays. And on the other side, what a terrible break for Bailey Ober. It should be 2 outs, runner on first. Instead, it's second and third, 1 out, and the top of the order.
Well, the way that Matt Wallner played that ball, it's almost like it was going to hit off the top of the wall, that tall wall out there in right field, and then it just one-hopped the wall. He could have just stuck his glove out and easily caught that baseball. But like you said, a big play in this inning, big play in this ball game.
Brings the infield in. 3-2 for the Twins. 1 out, 2 in scoring position, top of the 5th. Bobichet's 0 for 2, a pair of strikeouts. Ober offers. Bichette hits it on the ground foul. 0-1. Bo on a season-high 9-game hit streak. Entered today on that streak, batting .333. 4 home runs, 7 extra base hits total, 10 RBIs in those 9 games. 0-1. Swing and a fly ball, shallow center. Charging in Buxton. That's down for a base hit. In to score Clement. Right behind him, Jimenez. A 2-run bloop for Bo Bichette. He'll take it. The Blue Jays lead 4-3 in the top of the 5th.
My goodness. Bo Bichette will definitely take that. Didn't hit it hard at all. I'm wondering if the Minnesota Twins are playing at their normal depth. Does a shortstop make that play? Their infield was in, and like we've talked about before, when the infield is in, those averages skyrocket. Bo Bichette just, it's a weak fly ball into short center field, and he has 2 RBIs, a base hit.
Now the first pitch to Vladdy's hit high in the air, out to left field. Moving toward the corner, Harrison Bader makes the catch and tosses it back in quickly, 2 down. I think you got a good point there. I don't know if it's 100% Brooks Lee catches it, but I think he's got a chance. That wasn't that deep out of the infield, but Lee is standing on the edge of the infield grass rather than the outfield grass, and Bo's hit drops in.
Bo will take it.
Now a 10-game hit streak, and Bichette adds to his team-leading total, 37 RBIs. 2 down, here's Addison Barger. First pitch foul tip, 0-1.
And just like that, 4-3 Toronto. Bailey Ober was cruising through this ball game.
Innings 1-3, allowed 1 base run. 0-1. Low, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Addison Barger just spitting on that tough pitch. That was a really good slider from Bailey Ober down just below that strike zone. He's got a really good eye recently.
Hit a 2-run homer back in the 4th inning. 1-1. Just caught the top of the zone with a slider. Barger not a huge fan of that. Wry smile back to the home plate umpire. It's 1-2.
Yeah, you could see him turning around to Jordan Baker, the home plate umpire, and saying, no. I tend to agree. That's a big call. That's ball.
And he's not a guy that talks much on the field. Bichette on first, 4-3 Blue Jays, 2 outs, top of the 5th. Ober looking in for a while, kicks and deals. Swing and a fly ball, left field line, moving over and losing his hat. Bader makes the catch to end the inning. 2-run single by Bo Bichette, one of 3 hits for the Blue Jays. They leave one on, but they lead the game for the first time. 4-3 Toronto, middle of the 5th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming on sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
After another thrilling horse racing finish at the Preakness.
Oh my goodness! Journalism has won!
What's in store for the 3rd leg of the Triple Crown?
And they're off in the Belmont Stakes.
Start your Belmont morning on Sirius XM, Saturday at 10 Eastern, with a special 4-hour edition of Down the Stretch on Channel 85. Then at 4, hear the pre-race coverage of the Belmont Stakes on Fox Sports Radio Channel 83 and the Sirius XM app.
The football talk doesn't stop on Sirius XM NFL Radio.
They're mentally tough, they're physically tough, and they're talented.
Stay informed with the latest news around the National Football League, leading up to the training camp tour.
You gotta practice a certain way if you want to be winners.
Our experts are getting you ready for the 2025 season.
For the veteran players, they want to see the guy earn the job.
There's a story for every team on NFL Radio Channel 88 and the Sirius XM app.
On PGA Tour Radio, everyone plays golf.
Peyton Manning with us.
I topped it on the first hole, hit a golf cart, made a birdie. That's really all I'm going to remember is a birdie. I'll forget about hitting the cart.
Aaron Rodgers in the building. Aaron, how we doing, fella?
Great now. We got that hole out of the way.
How'd you do?
I flared it to the right.
Oh,
just missed
my
the green.
God. Steph Curry with us.
I played in a Corn Ferry event. I've won the American Century in Tahoe in the summer, so I've had a blessed golf life.
PGA Tour Radio, Channel 92 in the car, and on the Sirius XM app.
The Blue Jays are in flight, leading 3-0.
Blue Jays fans, this is Ross Atkins, and you're listening to Blue Jays Baseball on Sirius XM
Radio Network.
Blue Jays Baseball is presented by Crown Rust Protection. Back and forth ball game, and for the first time today, the Blue Jays enter a bottom half of an inning with a lead. It's 4-3 Toronto. Bottom of the 5th, Eric Lauer deals home, and Christian Vasquez, the catcher, takes up and away, ball 1.
It's a big inning for Eric Lauer, who's dominated the first 2 innings. Just 1 hit, no walks, couple of strikeouts. That ERA is down to 2.10 now.
He's thrown 30 pitches. Here's his 31st, and it's up and away again, 2-0.
Not the way you want to start this inning, though, falling behind Christian Vasquez, the number 9 hitter in the order.
Vasquez, it's been a while since he was at his offensive peak. He struggled at the plate as a Twin, but he showed he still has it in there. Hit a double in the 2nd inning, 2-0. High and outside, ball 3. 3 straight arm side misses for Eric Lauer. You'd almost guarantee that Vasquez has a red light here. Number 9 hitter with Buxton up next, 3-0. Fastball top of the zone, called strike.
That's a good job throwing strike one there. It's really difficult to throw a strike when you know a guy is not swinging, and I'm sure Eric Lauer knew that. Good job throwing a strike there, though.
Veteran lefties 3-1. Called a strike, a little backdoor cutter top of the zone. Pretty nifty pitch. It's 3-2.
It's almost like back in the day when pitchers were still hitting, you'd see guys fall behind 1-0, 2-0, and you know he's not swinging. It's impossible to throw a strike, though, when that happens.
The funniest would be a guy would snap off a curveball and they throw the change, and you're like, it's a pitcher. Just throw a fastball. 3-2 pitch, broken bat, pop, middle of the infield, bounces down, bare hand from the dirt Bichette, bounces the throw to first, and a backhanded pick by Vlad, falling onto his stomach to make the play. That was a little humpback liner, landed in front of second. Tough play for Bo to get it. His throw was yanked a little, and Vladdy somehow stayed on the bag while sprawling out to make a backhanded pick for the first out of the inning.
My goodness, what a play all the way around. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. continues to impress over there. How about that Gold Glover with the play for the first out of the inning?
There might be 2 platinum glovers in this game, but Vlad is making everyone look at his gold right now. One of those platinum glovers is Byron Buxton, who swings and misses at a first pitch changeup, 0-1.
Well, I didn't see it, but I'm sure Vlad was pointing at that Gold Rawlings sign on his glove.
He was. Buxton a platinum glover, as is Andres Jimenez. Byron Buxton won that in 2017. A 1. Fouled back, 0-2. Really, the last time he played a full season, you could argue the only time he played a full season completely healthy was 2017. He played 140 games. Last year he got into 102.
It's a long time ago.
It is a long time ago.
Oh, man.
31 years old, now the second overall pick in 2012, 0-2. High and outside, 1 ball, 2 strikes. It's such a shame because clearly he's a really good player and he's had some really nice years, but it's always like, hey, did you see Byron Buxton hit 20 homers in 60 games? It's never what's a whole, even 130 games look like from Buxton. 1-2. Outside with a backdoor cutter, 2 balls, 2 strikes. And it's been different things at, different times. He's had lingering issues. Hip has been a problem for him at times. Multiple concussions throughout his pro career. 2-2 pitch is lofted foul right side into the seats out of play.
And even though he's been injury plagued, he's still a guy that runs. He has 10 stolen bases this season. A lot of the times when you see those, when you have guys that have a lot of IL stints, they don't really go anywhere on the bases. They want to stay safe at their base. But Byron Buxton, 10 stolen bases this season already.
2-2. Fouled back, still 2-2. He's on the other side of 30, and he's been on the injured list about as much as anyone probably in the last 7-8 years. And he's the second fastest guy in baseball with all of those stints. And the hip injuries, it would feel like maybe would have an impact, but they haven't. Only Bobby Witt Jr. outruns Byron Buxton, and it's a narrow advantage. 2-2 pitch fouled back, still 2-2.
And like you said, 31 years old, still up there in speed. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, he and Trey Turner are the old guys at the party. When you look at the top of the speed list, you have your Bobby Witts and your Victor Scotts and your Chandler Simpsons. 2-2 again. Curve low. Great take by Buxton. Pretty good pitch. Ball 3.
Yeah, most decent players at 31 are thinking about what they're going to be doing in their retirement, not keeping that same speed they had when they were 21 years old.
A breath from Lauer. He winds in the payoff pitch. Missed way high and outside. The curveball slipped out of the hand. He knew it right away. Ball 4.
I didn't realize that Eric Lauer was so vocal out there. When he makes a bad pitch, you can hear him yelling. That's interesting. Here comes John Schneider, though.
They said around 50 pitches for Eric Lauer. He's at 44. Maybe you don't want to get in a spot where if he gets in a long battle, you end up taxing him too much. So the Blue Jays are going to make a pitching change, brought to you by Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer for the Toronto Blue Jays, locally owned, genuinely Canadian. 1 out, runner on first, 4-3 Blue Jays, bottom of the 5th. Let's go back to our host today, Show Ali.
Thanks very much, guys. Let's check on that St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. The Stanley Cup Final finally underway. And after Game 1's thriller that ended with Leon Draisaitl scoring his second goal of the night in overtime to give the Oilers a 1-0 series lead, it has been a wild start to Game 2. Sam Bennett opens the scoring to make it 1-0 Florida. It was his 13th goal of the playoffs, 12th on the road, which is a now NHL playoff record. Evander Kane would answer for Edmonton. Evan Bouchard would get another in short order as well, his 7th of the playoffs. So it's now 2-1 Edmonton. Seth Jones would equalize for Florida, game tied 2-2. Sam Bennett, surprise, surprise, makes contact with Stuart Skinner. A power play would ensue. And on that power play, Connor McDavid putting Aaron Ekblad and the reigning Selke winner, Alexander Barkov, in the torture chamber. He finds Leon Draisaitl. It's 3-2 Edmonton. That's the score at the end of one, and the second period just got underway. 5 minutes in, it's still 3-2 Edmonton, which you can watch, of course, on Sportsnet and the CBC. In the PWHL, the league's first ever expansion process underway. Seattle and Vancouver signing a number of players in this period, which is exclusive to these two teams. Vancouver signing the first 4 players in team history, one of whom is former Toronto Scepter Sarah Nurse. The next step for Seattle and Vancouver will be on June 9th, which is this coming Monday. That's when the PWHL expansion draft will take place. Each of the existing teams has already submitted their list of protected players, and both Seattle and Vancouver can select up to a max of 7 total players from the various other PWHL teams. Blue Jays baseball, of course, is brought to you by Crown Rust Protection. Let's get you back to the action with the call. Here are Ben Schulman and Chris LaRue.
Thank you very much, Joe. The rookie southpaw reliever Mason Fluharty into the ballgame. 27th appearance of the year for the lefty that sports a 3.20 ERA and a whip below 0.8. He comes on to face the left-handed hitter Trevor Larnach. Runner on first, 1 out, and a 4-3 Blue Jay lead. Bottom of the 5th. Blue Jays got 2 from Paxton Schultz, 2 and a third from Eric Lauer. Fluharty deals to Larnach. Down and away, ball 1.
Fluharty had a speed bump on May 25th against the Rays. He gave up 4 runs in 0 innings, but he's had 4 straight scoreless outings.
And that was a day where they gave up 13. No one survived from that game, except I believe Michael Stefanik, who pitched in that game. Next pitch, swing and a miss, 1-1.
Stefanik did deal in that outing.
He did. Now Fluharty on left with Larnach, Ty France on deck, and Byron Buxton on first, as we were talking about before the pitching change. Certainly a threat to run. 1-1. Bounce, 2 balls and 1 strike. Kirk looked up to first. Buxton was holding there. Pretty recently, Byron Buxton joined now a 2-man club of Minnesota Twins to hit 100 homers and steal 100 bases. It's Buxton and Kirby Puckett. Step and throw over to first. Buxton races back in there.
And if he was healthy for the majority of those 10 years, I mean, he would have cleared 100 7 years ago.
That's the thing. The fact he has 103 stolen bases, this is a guy, if healthy, could have 400. 2-1. Broken bat, fly ball, center field. Clase started back, now sprinting forwards, and he makes a backhanded catch, falling down to the ground as he got there. Well, it's a good thing he's one of the fastest guys in the game, because he initially broke the wrong way, but used his legs to make up for it. 2 outs.
Well, Trevor Larnach broke his bat. I think that's what threw off Jonathan Clase initially. Took a couple of steps back. Larnach with the big swing, broke his bat. Like you said, good thing he's quick, because he came sprinting in to make that catch.
Blue Jays giving Clase a little more run in center field with Dalton Varsho on the injured list. This is the second start of the season and the 8th in his major league career out in center. Pitch to Ty France with 2 outs. Perfect cutter on the outside corner at the knees. Strike 1.
And it's not about how pretty it is, as long as you get the job done.
They don't ask how. And Clase is more of a natural center fielder, I will say. That was a bit of a tough play, but started nearly 400 games in center in the minors. 0-1. Hit foul off to the right. France sprays that one into the seats. 0-2. Look quickly to the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. Middle of the second period in Edmonton. Oilers leading the series 1-0 and leading Game 2 3-2 over the Florida Panthers. After a 5-goal first, not as much going on in the second. 0-2 pitch. Outside and a back pick by Kirk and a dive back in safe by Byron Buxton. Action in the Twins pen for the first time today. Former Dodger Brock Stewart getting loose. Buxton on first, 2 outs, 4-3 Blue Jays, bottom of the 5th. The 1-2 to Ty France. In the dirt, good pick as Kirk went forward. He actually didn't get it clean, but he scooped it in front of him so that Buxton couldn't take off. Kirk came in front of the plate to pick it up and gets rid of that ball, giving a new one to Fluharty.
He's blocked a couple of balls back there with Byron Buxton standing at first base, and every single time he jumps up, rips that mask off, and gets to that ball as quickly as possible. Doesn't want Buxton taking second base.
2-2. Hit off the handle and caught on a slide. A little sinking liner to first. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. has it, and that'll do it for the inning. No runs, no hits, 1 left for the Twins. Blue Jays leading 4-3 as we go to the 6th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming on the Sportsnet app and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Knock all your summer projects out of the park with Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer of the Toronto Blue Jays and your DIY partner in making your dream home a reality. From gardens to garages, back decks to front doors, refreshes and renos, we're here to help you cover all your bases and make every summer project a home run. Visit any of our 1,000+ home hardware and building center locations where we're proud to be locally owned and genuinely Canadian.
At Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
Sportsnet Plus is the streaming home of the Blue Jays.
Oh, what a catch!
Stream over 150 Blue Jays games all season long.
You won't see this anywhere else.
Including pre- and post-game coverage with Jamie and Joe on Blue Jays Central.
One of the best in the game right here.
Watch all the Blue Jays action wherever you are, at home or on the go.
Don't you love baseball?
Plans start from $24.99 a month.
We are good to go.
Subscribe at sportsnetplus.ca.
For this life I cannot change. Hidden hills, deep off in the main.
This is George Springer, and you're listening to Toronto Blue Jays Baseball on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Alejandro Kirk digging in, top of the 6th inning. Blue Jays at Target Field, leading the Twins 4-3. Haley Ober winds and delivers, and Kirk takes down and away ball 1. 6th inning is brought to you by Desjardins Insurance. Get insurance that's really big on care at Desjardins.com/care today. 1-0. Swing and a bouncing ball left side. Sliding stop Lee. Spins and throws from the grass to get Kirk. Shortstop tossed it from shallow left. Nice play. 1 out.
Well, I thought Lee had no chance. Deep in the hole on the left side. Makes a good throw to first base for the first base. Bailey Ober's actually clapping right now.
I mean, that's a guy who's not playing full-time shortstop. He's in there because Carlos Correa has missed 3 games in a row after slipping in the batter's box in Sacramento. Lee filling in admirably. He can play short, second, and third. Pitch to George Springer. Called a strike, 0-1. I will say this has felt like the problem at times for the Twins over the last couple years. They get a Buxton back, Correa goes out. Correa comes back, Buxton goes down. Lewis goes out. 0-1 pitch is jacked by Springer. Deep left field. Headed to the Blue Jay bullpen. That ball is gone. Solo shot George Springer, and the Blue Jays add to their lead. They're up 5-3 on George Springer's 9th of the year.
Well, that was just a hanging sweeper from Bailey Ober. Hasn't thrown many of those today, but he left that right over the heart of the plate, and George Springer didn't miss it, barreling that thing up into the bullpen out in left center. What a swing.
How about 435 feet for George Springer? Jacket on for the Blue Jay DH. 5-3 for the Blue Jays. They've scored 5 unanswered after going down 3-0 through 2 innings, and now Nathan Lucas takes outside. Ball 1.
That's an important run, too. It's much easier to pitch as a bullpen pitcher coming into a ball game with a 2-run lead as opposed to that 1-run lead.
Lucas swings at the 1-0, fouls it back. 1 ball, 1 strike. He knew it. Everyone in the ballpark knew it right when George Springer hit it. Took a second to look at it and then got into the jog. 1-1 pitch, fouled away. 1-2.
Yeah, what, 3, 4, 5 slow steps before he got in his trot.
You want to see that in Atlanta? BlueJays.com/vote. I think he's got a shot to be one of the 3 outfielders voted in. 1-2. Swing and a fly ball, right center field. Moving back, Buxton slows into a jog in front of the track, makes the catch. 2 down in the inning. If you're trying to make the case for Springer, I mean, right now, live after that home run, 842 on base plus slugging for George Springer. That's an all-star level production. 9 homers, 25 driven in, 13 doubles. There's a lot of guys kind of right around those kind of numbers. As Ernie Clement swings at the first pitch and lofts one out to left. Harrison Bader shuffling over near the corner. He'll make the catch to end the inning. 1 run for the Blue Jays in the top of the 6th on 1 hit. George Springer's solo shot makes it 5-3 for Toronto, middle 6. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Road Dog Trucking Radio. We're more than just long hauls, wide loads, and truck stops.
We do have a decent amount of ground to cover.
What would you like to learn? Training and entrepreneurship.
Current economic issues.
Tariffs and the impact they've had.
Things internally with the supply chain.
Fuel prices, pay getting cut.
How to not retire broke.
Road Dog Trucking Radio. The business and trucking lifestyle channel.
Sirius XM 146.
And the Sirius XM app.
Blue Jays fans, your manager, John Schneider, joins MLB Network Radio every other Wednesday at 11 a.m. Eastern.
Our at-bats have been really kind of the way we envisioned them. Jimenez has kind of picked up where he left off in spring, as has Bo Bichette, Alejandro Kirk, and George Springer is making progress and kind of quieting some people down on the outside with the start he got off to.
Managers at the mic on MLB Network Radio, Sirius XM 89 and the Sirius XM app.
This is John Palmerosi. This week on the SiriusXM original podcast, The Road to Cooperstown, I sit down with Hall of Famer Randy Johnson.
Losing my dad early in my career made me view the game a whole lot differently. It motivated me, and I pitched being a little bit angry, I guess.
The Road to Cooperstown airs Saturday at 9 a.m. Eastern on MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM 89, and the SiriusXM app. New episodes drop every Tuesday wherever you get your podcasts.
Jays fans, this is George Springer, and you're listening to Blue Jays Baseball on Sirius XM.
George Springer, airborne, snatches it out of the sky.
Network.
Blue Jays 5, Twins 3. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Blue Jays at Target Field. Another inning for Mason Fluharty, who offers home, and it's a swing and a miss from Matt Wallner. Strike 1. Fluharty is the 3rd Blue Jay pitcher in this game. He came in with 1 out in the 5th. A 1. Hit off the end of the bat. Foul back behind home. 0-2. Prior to tonight's game, John Schneider just gave a bonus bit of praise to Chris Bassett yesterday, going 7 innings, because that's allowed the Blue Jays to have every single guy in their kind of 9-man pen, if you count Schultz as a reliever, even though he started today. Every single 9-man guy in their 9-man pen was available. So they go to Fluharty in the middle innings. Lefty's 0-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Ripped it at 92. Top of the zone with the cutter, and there's 1 out.
I mean, he's been gross. Just 3 straight cutters to Matt Wallner. See you later. What a pitch. Top of the strike zone with that thing, just blows it by him.
We were talking about this in between innings a little bit. Blue Jays bullpen, I don't think it's been quiet. I think people know that they're good, but maybe haven't seen just how good they've been recently. Fluharty offers to the switch hitter Brooks Lee. Outside ball 1. You go from the start of May to before tonight's game. The Blue Jays relievers had a 2.58 ERA in that span. Best in baseball in that span. And that's with Jimmy Garcia hurt now. That's with some struggles from their closer. 1-0 pitch called a strike, 1-1.
Well, I think a lot of people just remember the bumps in the road, myself included.
Sure.
So that those stats are actually surprising just because those bumps are kind of at the forefront.
Right. It's like a stay-at-home defenseman in hockey.
Yeah.
1-1 pitch, swing and a miss, 1-2. If you're a reliever and you get 15 consecutive scoreless appearances in a row, still more than likely people remember the one that you gave up the runs in before the 15 in a row.
Right.
Fluharty ahead of Lee, 1-2. 1 out, bases empty, bottom 6. The pitch. Swing and a miss, he got him. Sweeper below the knees. This guy looks like a vet. He's punched out 2 in a row, 2 down.
So much confidence out there. 2 straight strikeouts, just marching around that mound. That's his new thing. Has it always been his thing, just marching around the mound? Pretty fun to watch, though.
It seems like he's growing in confidence, and it's worked out for the Blue Jays. He's been awesome so far this year. That's going to be the last pitch he throws to strike out Lee. Pitching change for the Blue Jays. Brought to you by Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer for the Toronto Blue Jays, locally owned, genuinely Canadian. As John Schneider goes into his bullpen again, let's go over to our host with the Blue Jays up 5-3. Here's Show Ali.
Thanks very much, guys. Let's continue checking on that St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. Stanley Cup final action, Game 2. Between the Panthers and Oilers in Edmonton, Alberta. This game is in the second period. Last we checked, Edmonton was up 3-2. Well, the Florida Panthers have scored 2 straight. One from Dmitry Kulikov and one from Brad Marchand. It is now 4-3. I believe that Marchand goal is actually on the, it was a shorthanded goal. So the Edmonton Oilers still on the power play. You can watch this game. Again, Panthers up 4-3 on Sportsnet. Over in the NBA, the finals got underway last night with a real bang. Not the Mike Breen sort, but still, the Pacers doing it again. This time to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and the Thunder. Tyrese Halliburton continuing his star-making turn in the playoffs, draining a shot just inside the three-point line with 0.3 seconds remaining to improbably give the Pacers their first and only lead of the evening. They would hang on to win Game 1, 111-110, the final score, to steal home court advantage from OKC. Here's an array of how crazy this win was. The Pacers turned the ball over 25 times, the most by a team in an NBA Finals win since 1977. They trailed by 15 points in the fourth quarter against a team with the best home record in the NBA and largely had no answers for SGA, the MVP, who led all scorers with 38 points. They do have Halliburton, though. He is now 6 for 7 when taking a shot to tie or take the lead in the final 90 seconds of the fourth quarter overtime in these playoffs alone. That's the most such shots in a single playoff run since 1997. That's just ridiculous. Either way, Game 2 of this series will go Sunday night, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. Blue Jays baseball, as always, is brought to you by Crown Rust Protection. Let's get you back to the action in our game. Here are Ben Schulman and Chris LaRue.
Thank you very much, Joe. Cuban right-hander Yariel Rodriguez enters for the Blue Jays. 2 outs and the bases empty. Toronto leading 5-3. And Rodriguez comes in to face Royce Lewis. There was a situation somewhat similar to this a couple days ago where Rocco Baldelli lifted the struggling Royce Lewis, but today Lewis with a double and a single, so they leave him in there. And the pitch. This is way high and outside, ball 1.
If you look back to May, Yariel Rodriguez threw in 13 ball games, 17 innings. He gave up 6 hits in 17 innings.
Season ERA at 2.73. His next out will get him to 30 innings on the year. 1-0. Just missed up and in with a fastball. 2 balls, no strikes.
2 outs in the inning. You come into a ball game, and I know we talk about this a lot with Yariel Rodriguez. The stuff is there, but can he come into a ball game and pound the strike zone? Falling behind Royce Lewis 2-0 here.
The pitch. Check swing on a fastball up and in, ball 3. 3 straight 4-seamers. First one missed up and away, then 2 of them dragged to the arm side, missing up and in. 3-0 pitch. Called strike. Lewis, I think, feeling the effect of those inside fastballs. That was a fastball on the outside corner, and he kind of backed out like he was worried that was going to hit him.
Well, Royce Lewis doesn't want to get hit, especially a guy with his injury history.
3-1. Inside ball 4. Lewis will take a walk.
And you can see the frustration from Yariel Rodriguez slamming that bare right hand into his glove. Obviously, you don't want to come into a ball game, especially a two-run ball game. You bring the tying run to the plate now. You don't want to come in and walk a guy.
It's Cody Clemens who's got some power. 5 home runs, 5 doubles, and a triple in his 29 games with the Twins. And he has hurt the Blue Jays before. The pitch. Fouled back, 0-1.
99 miles an hour with that 4-seam fastball. Pretty good velo tonight for Yariel. Let's see if he can harness it.
Hit that one right at the top of the zone to get the foul back from Cody Clemens. Twins second baseman who last year drove in 4 in a game against the Blue Jays on May 7th with a homer and a triple. That was when he was a Philadelphia Philly. 0-1. Just missed with the fastball. Actually probably got the zone. He did miss his spot, though, so it made it an awkward receive for Kirk. 1 ball, 1 strike.
I think that was the thing. Alejandro Kirk did a good job framing that pitch, but like you said, missed his spot by a good amount.
Just whenever you're reaching across, it's hard to sell it as a strike. 1-1. Yanks a splitter inside. 2 balls, 1 strike.
And this is where you have to be careful. Cody Clemens can run into one, especially if you're just trying to throw a strike here. Might want to think about throwing another off-speed pitch, maybe at the bottom of the strike zone.
Lewis leading off first. Clemens is the tying run. It's 5-3 Blue Jays. 2 outs, bottom 6. 2-1 pitch at the bottom of the zone with a fastball. 2-2.
That's as good as it gets with that fastball down at the bottom corner, outside corner. I mean, that's 96 miles an hour. That's really tough to hit.
Maybe just took a little off it. He was 99 earlier, and perhaps that can get him more into the zone. He'll step off before another 2-2. Blue Jays will have Clase, Jimenez, Bichette hitting in the 7th inning. Trying to finish off the 6th. 2-2 pitch. Popped up. That one going to left center field. Backing up Clase. Makes the catch in front of the track to end the inning. That had some carry on it, but it stayed in the yard. Yariel Rodriguez does the job after a walk. It's no runs in the inning for the Twins. No hits. 1 left. 5-3 Blue Jays go into the 7th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center. Streaming on the Sportsnet app and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
If you're looking for a fun day, did you know the day before Monday? Junior J Sunday. You can paint your face. Come and meet Ace and run base to base. On Junior J Sunday. So many things to do. You could bring your crew and even mom and dad too. Junior J Sunday.
Lights up. Let's go to Junior J Sundays. It's family fun throughout the ballpark with games and activities that your squad will never forget.
Feeling the song, grab your dad or mom. Visit BlueJays.com. Junior J Sunday.
At Crown Rust Control, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
Knock all your summer projects out of the park with Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer of the Toronto Blue Jays and your DIY partner in making your dream home a reality. From gardens to garages, back decks to front doors, refreshes and renos, we're here to help you cover all your bases and make every summer project a home run. Visit any of our 1,000+ home hardware and building center locations where we're proud to be locally owned and genuinely Canadian.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. He punched out the side with his 9th K of the day.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Jonathan Clase leads off for the Blue Jays. Top of the 7th inning. Appreciate you tuning in tonight. Welcome to the Timber Mart broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. First pitch strike from Bailey Ober, who after going 4 innings in his last outing, goes into the 7th inning in this one. While he's been more efficient, he has not been more effective, allowing 5 runs. So one pitch is hit high in the air, center field. Buxton working back, stops up in front of the track, makes a one-handed catch. 1 out. 5-3 the Blue Jays lead. Ober was cruising through the first 3, but the Blue Jays have scored at least a run in each of the last 3 innings.
Yeah, he's only made a couple of mistakes in this ball game. He's looked pretty solid, started off really well, maybe had a couple of speed bumps in the middle of this ball game, but overall he's looked very, very solid, having a good season too.
They just punish the mistakes. Addison Barger hit 1 out of the yard. George Springer hit 1 out of the yard. Now Andres Gimenez up, and the pitch is swung on and missed. That was a mistake. 89 down the middle, nothing in 1.
How about that, just blowing 89 by him? That's a big league hitter up there.
A big league hitter who's had a fair amount of success. 0-1. Swing and a miss, nothing in 2. I mean, it's got to be that changeup, right?
That's really the thing with Bailey Ober. It's the changeup. I feel like if he didn't have that changeup, he might not even be in the big leagues. That's the difference maker for him.
His fastball in the back half of this game sitting 88-89, 0-2. Hit to left field, hugging the line. Bader on the run, slides and makes a nice play. A rare sliding two-handed catch. Harrison Bader takes one away from Jonathan Clase, and there's 2 down.
He needs to get a tighter hat.
I think he wants to show that hair.
That's the second time tonight that hat's come flying off, running for a fly ball, but a great play down that left field line.
Can play a lot of center field as well as hit his way into being more than a 4th outfielder potentially right now for the Twins. Here's the pitch to Bo Bichette. Swing and a high pop-up foul first base side. That's going to get out of play. Nothing in 1. Let's go quickly to the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. That blowout Yankees-Red Sox game has gotten a lot more interesting. From 8-1 Yankees, it's now 9-6 after a 2-run shot by Rafael Devers, although the Yankees are threatening in the bottom of the 7th. 0-1 to Bo Bichette. Called a strike, nothing in 2. Orioles and A's getting underway from Sacramento right now. No score in that game, top of the 1st. 0-2 to Bichette. Hit on the ground towards shortstop. Bobbled on the backhand side by Lee. Picks it up, bobbles again. And Bo Bichette is safe on the error at short. He might have still had his shot after the first bobble, but as it often goes, he kind of rushed the second attempt and bobbled again.
Yeah, it's also really tough to try to pick up that baseball after you bobble it with your glove. A lot of the times they say pick it up with your bare hand. He couldn't pick it up with his bare hand because it was rolling away on the left side of his body. That's an error for Lee there over there at shortstop. Doesn't play shortstop every single day, so it's a tough play.
First pitch to Vlad Guerrero Jr. in the dirt ball 1. It's his 11th start at shortstop. First time he's made an error at that position this year. 4th error overall for the youngster Brooks Lee. Inning continues. 5-3 Blue Jays. 2 outs, top of the 7th. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. 0 for 2. Hit by a pitch today. And Bo Bichette took off early. Ober steps off, throws to second. Bichette's just going to let him get tagged and end the inning. Bo Bichette caught stealing by Bailey Ober. He left early, and that'll do it for the inning. No runs, no hits, 1 error, none left. 7th inning stretch, Blue Jays 5, Twins 3. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Timber Mart always has plans to help you with your plans. Your home, your cottage, your garage, whatever needs your attention first, check the most visited spot on our website for ready-to-order plans to get the job done with Canada's Building Centre. Visit timbermart.ca.
Buck Martinez here to tell you about the huge Double XL free topping pizza from Pizza Pizza, just $19.99. That's a whopping 18-inch three-topping thing of beauty for only $19.99. So hurry into Pizza Pizza today and bring a big appetite for a hot and fresh Double XL pizza. I'm loving this big voice. I may just call the game this way.
Go to pizzapizza.ca.
Timber Mart is Canada's building center. Your home team advantage with the right materials and the right price. Project know-how that's brought together a wealth of plans and solid advice. Trust your team at your locally owned Timber Mart. Find your location at timbermart.ca.
Guess who just bundled their home and auto with Desjardins Insurance?
Well, look at you, all grown up and saving money.
Yes, I am.
Mom told you to do it, didn't she?
Yes, she did.
Get insurance that's really big on care. Switch and you could save up to 35% on home insurance when you bundle home and auto. Desjardins Insurance. Here for your home, auto, life, and business needs. Certain conditions apply.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Bichette powers the ball to left field. Going back, Peralta. It's out of here.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Bottom of the 7, 5-3. The Blue Jays lead the Twins. Yariel Rodriguez stealing to Harrison Bader to start the frame. First pitch slider called strike.
There you go. First pitch strike. That's what you got to do in a 2-run ball game like this.
Rodriguez struggled for the zone a little bit, and 2 batters faced in the 6th, but didn't harm the Jays. 0-1. Fastball missed inside at 99. It might have been on the zone, but A, he missed the spot, and B, it got dropped by Kirk. So 2 things working against him there. It's 1-1.
Yariel was actually tilting his head. He really wanted that call there. Jordan Baker didn't give it to him.
The 1-1 offering. Fouled back 1-2. Thus far, it's been another bullpen day that has gone pretty well for the Blue Jays. I mean, if you think about 6 innings so far, 3 earned runs, that's a quality start put together between Schultz, Lauer, and Fluharty. And a little Yariel at the end of the 6th. 1-2. Upstairs and inside at 97. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
And all 3 of those runs just coming off one guy. Paxton Schultz pitched 2 innings, gave up those 3 earned runs. Eric Lauer, Mason Fluharty, and now Yariel. Been really good.
2-2. In the dirt, ball 3. John Schneider acknowledged before the game that it's not the easiest day for a reliever. You could be on call at any time. You're pitching earlier in a game a lot of the time than you're used to, but they've responded pretty well every 5 days or sometimes even more than that to these bullpen day assignments. 3-2. Swing and a miss. He got him. Threw him a 3-2 slider that dropped just below the zone. Bader waves over top of it, and there's 1 out in the inning.
Well, I think the biggest issue with having 5, 6, sometimes even 7 guys throwing a ball game is the chances that one guy will pitch poorly is pretty high.
Right.
You can't expect 6 guys to be on their game in one ball game. So that's why having a bullpen day is always kind of flip a coin day.
1 out, the pitch to Christian Vasquez. Popped up. Foul, first base side. Vladdy sprinting toward the dugout of the Twins, and that one goes over the dugout into the 3rd row of seats. Welcome to the Timber Mart broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Do you have any bullpen days? They weren't nearly as prevalent 10 years ago.
Well, we had a bullpen day, I remember in AAA, and we threw a no-hitter.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. I was part of a no-hitter. That's pretty cool, I guess.
How much of a part of it were you? Like how many?
1 inning.
That counts. If you said a third of an inning, I might have jabbed you for it, but 1 inning counts. 0-1. Vasquez checks his swing. It just missed inside at 98. 1 ball, 1 strike. Kirk pounded his glove. I think he was a little upset with how he presented that pitch to the home plate umpire. Now the 1-1. Vasquez fouls back a spinning slider over the middle, 1-2.
He looks like a different guy this inning, just filling up that strike zone. That one there was a slider. Not a great pitch, a little spinner over the middle of the plate, but I'll take that, especially in a 2-run ball game. Just fill that strike zone up.
He seems to be more willing to miss over the middle than out of the zone, which for the situation, like you say, is probably the right way to go about it.
9th hitter up at the plate, Christian Vasquez. You don't want to face Byron Buxton.
1-2. Line toward first and caught by Guerrero near the line. He gives a little point to Vasquez. He retires him for the 2nd out of the inning.
Well, I guess you have to face Byron Buxton, but you don't want to face Byron Buxton as the tying run.
Right. And if you're going to, at least make Christian Vasquez hit a homer off of you or get on base again.
And I think Yariel Rodriguez is slowly starting to learn that. He's pitching to the scoreboard rather than just trying to be perfect to everybody.
2 down. Here is Buxton with Brendan Little loosening up for the Blue Jays. The pitch. Check swing. Called strike. Perfect slider outside corner. 0-1.
Yeah, he's flipped a switch. He looks like a different guy.
Blue Jays 5, Twins 3. Buxton's 0 for 2 with a walk today. 0-1. Swing and a miss, 0-2. Buxton only recently returned from a concussion that was caused by a collision between him and Carlos Correa. Both went on the concussion injured list. Correa basically stayed out the minimum time, which is a week. Buxton, it took him a little bit longer. And you understand why. He's had multiple previous concussions. 0-2. Just outside. Slider started over the outside edge, broke away from it. I think that's exactly where you want to throw it. They just didn't get the call or the chase.
3 sliders in a row. You think he goes 4 sliders in a row? I don't think he will.
No. He's got 99 in his back pocket. 1-2. Fastball popped up. Back of second base. Coming in, Clase gives way to the right fielder, Addison Barger, in shallow right center to make the catch and end the inning. 1-2-3 for Yariel Rodriguez, and we go to the 8th inning. 5-3, the Blue Jays lead in the series opener. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center. Streaming on the Sportsnet app and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Halliburton has it pulling up and hitting. How many more times can this team do that?
When the sports world is talking, nobody gives you more perspectives than the experts of Sirius XM.
That is why you love sports.
Hear instant reaction on Mad Dog Sports Radio.
That was out of this world, out of a sports movie.
And expert analysis on NBA radio.
This is the ultimate group of professionals.
Live sports talk when you need it is on Sirius XM and the Sirius XM app.
Every night after the final out, the Round Trip Roundup brings you the scores, highlights, and analysis from every game across Major League Baseball, all in less than 30 minutes.
Swung on and missed, strike 3 and a no-hitter.
It's the perfect way to get caught up on all the night's biggest home runs and best performances.
And a high drive, deep right center.
It's the Round Trip Roundup on MLB Network Radio every night on Sirius XM Channel 89 and every morning on the Sirius XM app.
Let the games begin.
On Sirius XM, you get all the sports play-by-play you want and all the live sports talk you need. It's always a home game when you listen to the NFL, NHL, NBA, and MLB on the Sirius XM app.
How good is that?
We fuel your fandom with NASCAR, the biggest college games, PGA, and soccer. And when news breaks, hear instant reaction.
We got a big developing story out of Cincinnati.
The Sirius XM app. Everything a sports fan needs, all in one place.
In season or out of season, the #1 place for college sports is Sirius XM College Sports Radio, Channel 84.
Sportsnet Radio Network.
This copyrighted broadcast is presented by authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership or the Sportsnet Radio Network. 5-3, the Blue Jays lead as we go to the 8th. Finally, a reliever out of Rocco Baldelli's pen, Justin Topa, the former Mariner, is on. And he pitches to Vlad Guerrero Jr. Sidearmed it outside at 94, ball 1. Pitching change brought to you by Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer for the Toronto Blue Jays. Locally owned, genuinely Canadian. Topa offers a 1-0. Swing and a liner out to left field, into the gap in left center, and down for a base hit. Sliding stop near the warning track, Bader. Vladdy digging for second. He'll get in there. Stand-up double to lead off the inning.
Well, you know what's better than a 2-run lead? A 3-run lead. Let's get that run in from second base. Nobody out in the inning. That's a big run standing out there.
Blue Jays will get 3 shots to hit a single here after Vladdy hits his 11th double of the season. Addison Barger is the first guy that has a chance at bringing him home. It is the wrong guy if you're looking for a bunt. That's not going to happen. But Addison Barger already has a 2-run homer today. Topa looks to second. One more look and the pitch. Swing and a line drive right side. Diving stop on a bounce at second. Clemens Gets up, throws to first for the out. Vladdy advances to third. Barger hit it hard, and at least he hooked it, so Vladdy can advance 90 feet. One down, runner on third.
Yeah, I guess in a perfect world, that's not what you want, but at least that runner goes from second base to third base. Now one out in the inning. Heck of a play over there from Cody Clemens, one-hopping that ball, catching it on the bounce and throwing a perfect strike over to first base for the first out of the inning.
And although you don't get the hit, I do think Barger, in a way, executes there. First pitch to Alejandro Kirk, swing and a miss, strike one. If you're giving him a simple plan, it's probably pull something hard. You hope it's a hit, but at least you pull something. And he hit that ball hard, but just to the wrong guy. Infield in, 0-1 to Kirk. Bounces it down and away. Backhanded pick by Vasquez to save a run. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Infield's in now. So Alejandro Kirk knows that he has to try to lift something, hit something hard, get something to that outfield and score that run from third base.
23rd appearance of the season for Topa, 2.11 ERA. His 1-1. Swing and a miss. Good sweeper there. It's 1-2. Sinker, sweeper, cutter change for Justin Topa, who's in his 6th season, although in 4 of the 6 he pitched fewer than 10 times. Might remember him from the 2023 Mariners. He pitched 75 times for Seattle that year. 1-2. Inside with the sinker. Almost hit Kirk. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
He's got really good stuff. A funky arm slot. Still 94, 95 miles an hour. A lot of run on that fastball.
That's the sinker. He's got a cutter as well in addition to the sweeper. And once in a while he'll flip in a change, mostly to lefties. 2-2. Hit foul off to the right. Sinker in on the hands. Kirk sprayed it. First base side down the line, foul. Alejandro Kirk entered today hitting .417 in the last 2 weeks. Doesn't have a hit today. Trying to score Vladdy from third with 1 out in the infield in. Topa's set at his chest. Kicks and offers. Outside on the 2-2. Kirk threw the hands out there but yanked him back to check his swing. Full count.
Kirk is hitting .333 this year with 2 strikes. He does a really good job of shortening his swing and trying to go the other way. That's probably why that average is so high with 2 strikes. A good approach.
Payoff pitch. Swing and a bouncing ball up the middle into center field. Another 2-strike hit for Kirk. Vladdy jogs home. It's 6-3 for the Blue Jays on the catcher's RBI single.
Well, the Twins had the infield in. I think that's a base hit even with the infield not in. But Alejandro Kirk continues to swing the bat well. That was a hanging sweeper, and he just ripped it into center field on the ground.
He's almost a better hitter with 2 strikes. He might be, at least in terms of average, for sure.
It's the approach. He has such a good 2-strike approach.
1 out, pitch to George Springer. Called low, 1-0. Not that long ago, the Blue Jays were down 3-0 early in this game, and it felt like it was getting away from them. Now they lead 6-3 in the 8th. 1-0. Swing and a line drive, right center field. Wallner on the run, makes the catch above his head. 2 down. Let's take a look at the standings, brought to you by Bet365. At Bet365, you can bet on popular markets like hits, home runs, and total bases. Download the app and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. 19 plus, play responsibly. Ontario only. Only one final in the division so far. The Rays have already won today. Nathan Lucas is up to hit with 2 outs and a runner on first. Yankees lead the division at 38-23. Rays 34-29 in second. Blue Jays half a game back, 33-29. First pitch to Lucas. Hit foul, 0-1. Then you have the Red Sox at 30-34 and the Orioles at 25-36. For the Twins, they're 34-28, just a game ahead of the Blue Jays coming into today. Minnesota's 6.5 back of the AL Central leaders and probably the best in the American League, the Detroit Tigers. 0-1. Outside with the sinker. And why not go to the wild card standings, Chris? We've already opened Pandora's box.
Why not, Ben?
The Minnesota Twins are the top wild card spot right now in the American League. 34-28. 1-1. Chopped just over the mound. Topa goes back to make the play on it, and underhand flips to first. to end the inning. The Blue Jays add a run after the Vladdy double. Barger moves him over. Kirk knocks him in with an RBI single. It's 6-3 Blue Jays, middle of the 8th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Knock all your summer projects out of the park with Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer of the Toronto Blue Jays and your DIY partner in making your dream home a reality. From gardens to garages, back decks to front doors, refreshes and renos, we're here to help you cover all your bases and make every summer project a home run. Visit any of our 1,000+ home hardware and building center locations, where we're proud to be locally owned and genuinely Canadian.
Which loony dogger are you? Do you approach Tuesdays with swagger and style? You could be a Rizzy Glizzy. Maybe you're an architect stacking your loony dogs up high. Do you walk into the ballpark with the confidence of an MVD? Then you're the most valuable dogger. This season at Rogers Center, every Tuesday home game is Looney Dogs Night, presented by Schneider's. No matter which loony dogger you are, you'll have the opportunity to purchase $1 hot dogs from various concession stands around the ballpark. Looney Dogs Night, presented by Schneider's. Every Tuesday home game.
What's up, baseball fans, Blue Jays fans from all over the world? Thank you for hanging out with us tonight for the Toronto Blue Jays game. Now's the time of the show for you to let us know where you're watching from in the chat. Let us know your city and province, city and state if you're in the USA, or let's see those international cities and flag emojis flying through the chat. As well as I want to see lots of Canadian flag chat. We are Canada's team. Toronto Blue Jays are Canada's team. Thank you for hanging out with us from all over the world. Please check out the link that is pinned in the chat, as well as in our description. It's going to take you to our website. You can check out all of our cool merch, like our awesome 100K stuff and OG Insider stuff going away very soon. So get on it before it goes away. And let us know where you're watching from on our live viewers tab. There you'll see where everyone else is hanging out with us all season long, whether it's the Blue Jays or the Playoff Pulse campaign, or anybody who's visited from all over the world. Thank you for hanging out with us this afternoon, this evening, this morning, the middle of the night, wherever it is, where you're watching from. Now let's get back to the baseball. Let's go, Blue Jays. Come on, boys. Let's make a playoff push. Cheers.
The Yankees-Red Sox game in the Bronx, but we'll see if that one gets final before we go over there. For Little, meanwhile, 29th appearance, a 1.29 ERA, is 1-1. Low, 2 balls and 1 strike. As much as there are lefties to face in this inning, it feels like at this point, Brendan Little is just an 8th inning guy no matter which way you hit.
He's the guy. He's been that gross.
39 strikeouts in 28 innings. His pitch on the corner with the curveball. It's 2-2. Sinker, cutter, curveball. The sinker gets the ground balls, and most of the time the curveball gets the strikeouts.
Brendan Little didn't give up a single earned run in all of May. 13 and a third innings, just 6 hits.
2-2. Bounced a curveball, turns away in frustration, full count.
And he hasn't given up an earned run in June either. Just an inning and 2/3 though, but still. No hits, 2 strikeouts.
He dangles the left arm looking in, now sets at the belt. Payoff pitch to Trevor Larnach. Just outside with the sinker, ball 4, a leadoff walk.
Not ideal. Obviously, you don't want to walk the leadoff hitter in a 3-run ball game, but as a reliever, you still have to remember that the next guy coming up can't hit a 3-run home run. So you still have to pound the strike zone, make good pitches. Don't try to be perfect.
Ty France is up, right-handed hitting first baseman. Takes the first pitch in the dirt. Alejandro Kirk scrambles to pick it up and keep Larnach at first. Kirk ditched his mask right behind him, got the baseball, and now will give a fresh one to Little. 1-0. We go over to the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard, where Devin Williams just finished off a Yankees win, 9-6. They beat the Boston Red Sox. Yankees continue to roll at the top of the AL East. All of our out-of-town scores brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill. 1-0. Cutter inside. 2 balls, no strikes. Little has walked 13 in his 28 innings coming into this outing. I think at times it would be fair to describe him as effectively wild. 2-0. Sinker at the bottom of the zone, strike 1.
It's really hard to throw that fastball for strikes. I know it's crazy to say that a big leaguer struggles throwing that fastball for strikes, but there's just so much movement.
It's 2-1. Missed inside through the cutter again. 3 balls and 1 strike. Little walked Larnach, now behind France 3-1 with the Blue Jays up 6-3, bottom 8. A look to first in the pitch. Lined right side and down in right field for a base hit. Cut off on the backhand side by Barger. Making the turn, Larnach headed to third. Throw goes back into second base. Runners on the corners for the Twins. Nobody out.
And if you're Pete Walker, this is probably a good time to go out there and have a chat with him. Maybe Alejandro Kirk can slowly walk out to the mound. Just cool him down a little bit. Give him a breather. Let him know that his fastball is good enough. Just throw that thing right down the middle.
Good read there by Larnach, by the way. Barger's a tough guy to run on, but he had to go into the gap to get that ball. Puts a little more pressure on the Blue Jays. And there comes Pete Walker. He took an extra second, but now he'll go out, talk to Alejandro Kirk and Brendan Little and the rest of the infield who comes in as well.
And you probably also want to figure out a game plan, too. Hey, what pitch do you want to throw? What pitch do you feel comfortable throwing in this situation? Pete Walker doesn't know how Brendan Little feels. Obviously, he's struggling just a little bit throwing strikes with that fastball. So do you want to flip a breaking ball in here first pitch? That's probably what I would do here in this situation.
Blue Jays are getting Chad Green up and throwing right now in the bullpen. A couple more lefties, though, for Brendan Little, and they are going to take one of those lefties out of the game. The Twins will remove Matt Wallner and instead put Ryan Jeffers into the game. The Twins have been a platoon-heavy team for a while under Rocco Baldelli, a little less so this year. But Jeffers, one of the better hitting Twins so far this year. So usually the catcher, today a pinch hitter, and the tying run in the bottom of the 8th. 6-3, the Blue Jays lead in the pitch. Down and in, ball 1. Jeffers on the season batting .254, 13 doubles, 4 homers, 20 driven in. He hit 21 homers as the primary catcher last year. 1-0. Called a strike, got him at the knees with a sinker, 1-1.
Jeffers didn't like that call. That's as good as it gets from Brendan Little, right at the bottom of that strike zone.
On third base, Larnach. France on first base, 1-1. Curveball back toward him, strike 2.
That's what I thought he was going to throw first pitch. That's a great pitch. Obviously, he's got a pretty good feel for that breaking ball. I wouldn't mind if he threw another one, just bounce that thing behind home plate.
Little is set. And is 1-2. Threw the curveball low. I think he executed, but a good take there by Jeffers. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Yeah, just a good take. Not a bad pitch.
Carlos Correa, Jonah Bride, and Willie Castro on the bench today for the Twins. 2-2 to the pinch hitter Jeffers. Checked his swing on another curve, spiked, full count. Now you got to come after him with something, whether it's the curve or one of the fastballs. You don't want to walk the bases loaded.
Yeah, and you don't want to put the tying run on base either. Still nobody out in this inning.
16 pitches so far for Brendan Little. A walk and a single given up so far. Runners on the corners, infield back, the 3-2. Called strike 3. Jeffers with a scream back to Jordan Baker. He might have a point. It was close. And I think Jeffers might get himself out of this ball game. And he did. He got tossed. I think he knew he was probably getting defensively replaced, so I don't know how much it matters, but Rocco Baldelli is going to get his money's worth as well, coming out to talk to Jordan Baker a little more relaxed.
Wasn't a great call from home plate umpire Jordan Baker. I think if the Blue Jays were hitting right now, we'd be a little bit more upset, but a pretty good pitch from Brendan Little just below that strike zone. I mean, Jeffers has a point.
It did miss. There's no doubt about it. It was close, and maybe too close to take, but probably a call that went the Blue Jays' way. A huge call in this game. Because instead of the bases loaded, there's one out. Blue Jays can dream about a double play as Brooks Lee comes up, switch hitter batting right. A single to right field, a fly out, and a strikeout for Lee today. The pitch. Curveball just misses. Pretty similar spot to the called strike 3. It's called ball 1 this time, 1-0. There's a chance they would have left Jeffers in and subbed out Christian Vasquez instead. Now they can't do that. 1-0. Curve for a strike. You got double barrel action going on in the Twins pen. Joan Duran is getting loose, the closer, as is Cole Sands. 1-1. Curve for a strike, 1-2.
You can tell that Brendan Little has better feel for that breaking ball. Looks like he's pretty comfortable throwing that thing right now.
1 out, first and third. 6-3 Blue Jays, bottom 8. Little's 1-2 pitch. Hit on the ground toward third base. That one veers foul. Clement still fields it, but the runners will return to their positions and Lee back to the plate. Still 1-2.
That's 4 curveballs in a row to Lee. Maybe they'll mix in a fastball here, but you can tell that Brendan Little just doesn't have command with that fastball.
Lee's the tying run. He's got 4 homers this year. He's driven in 20. 1-2 again. Spiked the curve in front of home plate. Very good block by Kirk. Got up and made a save with his left shoulder, almost like a goalie in hockey. Pushing that left shoulder up to keep it from going to the backstop and scoring a run. Actually got it by the waist, but still got his body up in front of it in position.
That was way out in front of home plate. Almost an impossible block from Alejandro Kirk, but he saves that run on third base.
Two. Curveball fouled away. Hit Kirk. Might have hit Lee again. Rolled to the backstop. It's been a 23-pitch inning for Brendan Little. Chad Green is loose for the Blue Jays if they want him. Little's given up a walk and a hit, and he has a strikeout. 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Got him on a curve in the dirt. Alejandro Kirk fired up, shuffling away from home plate as he blocked that one and sends the ball back to Little. 2 down.
That's 7 straight curveballs to Lee. Finishing him off with a perfect curveball just behind home plate. A good block from Alejandro Kirk. I think one of the reasons why I trust Brendan Little in this situation, even though he isn't really throwing a ton of strikes, is he doesn't give up a lot of home runs. And now with 2 guys on base, the tying run is in the batter's box. I would rather have Brendan Little in this ballgame than Chad Green.
Alejandro Kirk is talking to Little. It doesn't look like they're making a change yet.
They might, though.
They might. John Schneider, though, just standing right now at the railing. Has not made a move up the steps, and it looks like Little and Kirk are going to discuss how they want to attack Royce Lewis. Jordan Baker went out to break up that meeting, and Little's going to remain in to take on Lewis, who's reached all 3 times today. Double, single, and a walk.
That's a really good mound meeting from Alejandro Kirk. You have to go over the scouting report right now. You have to figure out what pitch you feel comfortable throwing in this situation. Royce Lewis has a lot of power.
He does. He hasn't shown it this season, but he is a guy that can go deep at any time. Had 15 homers in 58 games in 23, 16 homers in 82 games in 24. The pitch. Curveball misses downstairs. Ball 1. Ty France on first base. Trevor Larnach on third base. 6-3 Blue Jay lead. 2 outs, bottom 8. Little brings his hands together, looks to first, and the 1-0. Called strike, maybe his best sinker of the outing on his 27th pitch of the inning. It's 1-1.
And this is probably a situation where I'm okay with Brendan Little nibbling a little bit. There's 2 outs in the inning now. If you walk the bases loaded, it's not as high leverage of a situation.
1-1 in the dirt, 2-1.
But still, you never want the bases loaded, especially with a guy like Brendan Little on the mound.
And you would bring the go-ahead run up to the plate. But at the same time, you'd bring a left-handed hitter in theory up in Cody Clemens. Although Rocco Baldelli has Bride and Correa right-handed hitters on the bench, along with the switch hitter Willie Castro. Unclear if Correa's available. 2-1. Swing and a miss. Good curve. Just dropped below the zone, and he got Lewis out in front. 2-2.
Throw another one of those. Just a little bit lower. Maybe even bounce it.
Little gets about 50% swing and miss. When batters swing, it's a coin flip on whether they'll make any sort of contact at all. Best in baseball. It's amazing because he doesn't throw that curveball in the zone hardly at all. And he still gets guys to swing at it. First and third, 2 down. 2-2 pitch to Royce Lewis. Curveball fouled back. Through the backdoor one for a strike that time rather than the strike to ball one below the zone. Lewis got a chunk of it.
Little bit of a hanger. It was on the outside part of the plate, but it was just hanging a little bit of a spinner backup type of curveball. You could see Alejandro Kirk wanted that thing down below the strike zone.
Little kicks and offers. Curveball low, full count.
And now you have a decision to make. Do you throw a fastball? Do you try to fill up the zone? Or do you just throw one of those curveballs again and just kind of be okay walking him if he takes the pitch?
Royce Lewis has struggled against the heater this year. But Little's best pitch is the curve. France will be off from first. 2 outs and the full count offering. Curveball poked out to right center field and down for a base hit. In to score Larnach. France around to third. Throw goes into second. RBI single Royce Lewis. And it's 6-4 for the Blue Jays. Runners on the corners in the bottom of the 8th.
Another curveball. You could tell that Royce Lewis was sitting back on that pitch. He probably understands and knows that Brendan Little is struggling with the fastball command, so is just kind of guessing and expecting that curveball. A little bit of a backup pitch. I think if it was a better pitch, maybe below the strike zone, he might have swung and missed or hit a weak ground ball, but he does a good job expanding and getting that ball into the outfield for an RBI.
Rare run allowed for Little, who's thrown 32 pitches in this inning. Remains on for a left-on-left with Cody Clemens. First pitch heater. Called a ball, and I mean, that's just brutal. Ball 1. That pitch clearly had the zone. Then again, Ryan Jeffers is probably feeling like maybe things are starting to even up.
Yeah, a little bit. That's a strike.
So Clemens gets a 1-0 count for free. Little's pitch. Inside, 2-0. Clemens is the go-ahead run. Runners on the corners, 2 down. Typically does not face many left-handed pitchers, but Rocco Baldelli trusted him in this big spot. The 2-0. Bounce toward first base, but foul. 2-1.
35 pitches now in the inning for Brendan Little. That was a ton of pitches for him.
I'd have to guess this is his last battle. It is clearly, or just barely actually, a season high for Little. He threw 34 against San Diego in an inning and 2/3 on the 22nd. 2-1 pitch. Foul back. Hit Kirk in the mask. His head sags down. It's 2-2. But that 34 pitch outing, that was across 2 different innings for Little. This is all in one frame. And he's got a chance to reach 40 pitches.
And that swing right there from Cody Clemens tells me that he's not seeing the breaking ball very well. He's not comfortable with that curveball. I'd probably throw another one just in a better location, but you might see a fastball here.
First and third, 2 down. 2-2. Curve inside. Full count again. Runner will be off from first again. This time it's Royce Lewis on first, with Ty France at third. Little looks in. He's thrown 19 balls and 18 strikes in this inning. The 3-2 pitch. Hit on the ground and picked up at first on his knees by Vlad Guerrero Jr. He goes to the bag and ends the inning. The Twins get one, but they leave the tying runs on the bases. 1 run on 2 hits, no errors, 2 left on base. Blue Jays take a 6-4 lead to the 9th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local...
Cheers, Insiders! Thank you for hanging out with us tonight, this morning, middle of the night, middle of the afternoon, wherever it is that you're hanging out with us, listening to the Blue Jays, chatting it up, keeping it classy. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You all rock. You are awesome. We appreciate you hanging out with us, cheering on our Blue Jays, because our Jays are special. This season, we've got something. These kids are going to put something together, I have a feeling. And we have a chance to make a playoff push, and we got to get behind them. And I'm just here to say thank you to you, you, for being here and making a difference with us here on TSI, making this awesome place to hang out for people, sports fans all over the world, and making that difference with SickKids Hospital in Toronto. As a percentage of our revenue from every single game is donated to SickKids Hospital. We are over $12,000 in our first year of donating and fundraising for SickKids Hospital. That's impressive. And that's on you and everybody else who's been here during a Toronto Sports Insider Live. Now let's get back to the baseball. Come on, Blue Jays. Let's go get a playoff spot. Isn't that pretty? That's so pretty. I just love these awesome plaques and play buttons. Thank you, Insiders, Blue Jays fans. Thank you for helping us reach this amazing, amazing milestone.
And streaming on the SiriusXM app.
24/7, 365 coverage of all things NASCAR. All things NASCAR happens exclusively on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio, Channel 90.
Sportsnet Radio Network.
The 9th inning is brought to you by new pizza from Pizza Pizza. Get a huge 18-inch double XL 3-topping pizza for just $19.99. Bigger slices, bigger bites, only at Pizza Pizza, actually Canadian. New pitcher Cole Sands steals home to Ernie Clement, misses down and away, ball 1. 6-4 for the Blue Jays, top of the 9th. And a new right fielder for the Twins as well. Willie Castro has taken over in right. Next pitch is hit sharply on the ground to third. Nice pick. Lewis stands up, throws to first. 1 out. Pitching change is brought to you by Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer for the Toronto Blue Jays, locally owned, genuinely Canadian. Cole Sands having a very nice season. 27 appearances coming into this one, a .312 earned run average in 26 innings. He doesn't strike out that many guys, but he's getting outs. First pitch to Jonathan Clase, called a strike. 95 with the fastball, nothing in 1. Leads with the cutter, 4-seamer splitter, sinker and curve. Righty's 0-1. Clase hits it on the ground up the middle, fielded at short by Lee. Pump and throw to first to get the speedy Jonathan Clase, 2 down.
It's interesting that Cole Sands' strikeout numbers are way down. Just 19 strikeouts in his 26 innings this season. But last year, struck out 85 and 71 and a third. I wonder if he's doing something differently this year.
The overall pitch mix, not incredibly different. He is pitching in higher leverage this year, and perhaps, guys in the 8th inning, 9th inning buckling down a little bit more. Pitch to Andres Jimenez outside, ball 1. But you look at it, the usage isn't totally different. It's a couple more splitters and cutters, a little less of the sinker and curve. But if anything, the cutter and splitter are swing and miss pitches for him. 1-0. Outside, 2-0.
Maybe it's all just coincidence.
Could be. 2 outs, top of the 9th. Andres Jimenez is 1 for 2 today with a walk, a double, and a run scored. The pitch. Low with the splitter, just missed. Sands didn't love the call. It's 3-0. Blue Jays getting Jeff Hoffman up. They lead 6-4, top of the 9th. Here's the 3-0. Call to strike, just clipped the outside edge. Looking ahead to the bottom of the 9th, Bader, Vasquez, Buxton set to hit. Potentially the options of Bride and Correa available. 3-1. Swing and a ground ball hit to first, fielded deep by Ty France. He'll jog to the base, step on it to end the top of the ninth. Very tidy. 1-2-3 for Cole Sands. A trio of groundouts sends us to the bottom of the ninth where the Blue Jays take a 6-4 lead. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Of all the things that TimberMart can lend a hand to build, community ranks among the most important. And with the TimberMart Local Leaders Initiative, we strive to recognize those dedicated to making their hometowns a better place to live, work, and play. From now to June 25th, you can vote to select our grand prize winner. They'll receive a $10,000 grant to support their outstanding initiative as TimberMart's Local Leader of the Year. To vote, visit local-leaders.com. TimberMart, Canada's building center.
At Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Vladdy rocks the ball to left field. The Blue Jays have gone back-to-back.
Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome back to Blue Jays Baseball. Show Adley with you. The Blue Jays lead the Twins 6-4 as we head to the bottom of the ninth inning at Target Field. Don't forget, we do have Jays Talk tonight. I have the post-game show, solo edition of Jays Talk for me. I will take your calls and texts. I'll throw out the numbers to call after the final out. You guys know the drill. You can text me as well. 590-590, name and location. You start getting those texts in now if you like. The People's Text always open. Standard data and messaging rates may apply. Blue Jays Baseball, as always, is brought to you by Crown Rust Protection. The Jays lead the Twins 6-4, bottom nine at Target Field. With the call, here are Ben Schulman and Chris LaRue.
Thank you very much, Joe. Blue Jays leading by 2, as you mentioned, and a couple switches for Toronto. First on the mound, it's pitching change brought to you by Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer for the Toronto Blue Jays, locally owned, genuinely Canadian. Jeff Hoffman on looking for a save, and a bit of a rejigged outfield behind him. We'll get to that in a sec. First, his pitch to Harrison Bader is a fastball, zips in at 96, strike one. Miles Straw has entered the game. Addison Barger is out. Straw will go into center, bumping Jonathan Clase to left and moving Nathan Lucas from left to right. Hoffman kicks and delivers. Yank the fastball down and away. 1 ball, 1 strike. 13 saves on the season for Jeff Hoffman, more than he had in the rest of his major league career. 5.74 ERA in 26 2/3 innings pitched. 1-1, check swing on a slider down and away. Appeal to first, he did go, says Chad Whitson. Hoffman ahead 1-2.
That thing was nasty. An awkward swing from Bader.
Hoffman set, blue glove just below his belt. He rocks and deals. Slider hit foul. Strikeouts to walks have looked great for Jeff Hoffman. 38 punch-outs in 26 2/3, only 7 walks. He's given up probably a few more hits than he would have liked, and especially 6 home runs, matching the number of home runs he had all of last season. 1-2. Chopped foul, 97-mile-per-hour heater, and that's full protect mode from Bader, just sending it toward the first base dugout.
Yeah, it's a pretty good fastball, exactly where he wanted it at the top of that strike zone. Alejandro Kirk with the target above the strike zone. Like you said, Bader just defense mode.
Almost hit it out of the glove. 1-2. Called strike 3. Frozen with 97, walks to the back of the hill. There's 1 down for Jeff Hoffman and the Blue Jays.
Well, Harrison Bader had no idea what pitch was coming there. That fastball was right down the middle at 97 miles an hour, and he watches it go by.
It's almost like Bader maybe overthought it. Hoffman had sped him up. A lot of the time then you go soft, but instead he just doubled up on the heater. 1 out, Christian Vasquez to the plate. Longtime Red Sox takes the first pitch outside. A fastball at 97, ball 1. Blue Jays trailed 3-0 after Christian Vasquez hit a 2-run double in the second. Scored 6 straight. They now lead 6-4. 1-0. Vasquez takes a heater at the knees. 1-1. Hoffman is the 6th Blue Jays pitcher to appear in this game. 1-1. Fastball at 97 hits the knees again. Great pitch, 1-2.
How about Jeff Hoffman just filling up the strike zone with the fastball? We haven't seen much of that this season.
We saw it early.
Yeah.
And he probably had better command of some of the non-fastballs in March, April. Got in trouble in May, trying to work back in June. 1-2. Fastball cut on a miss. Strike 3. Back-to-back punch-outs for Hoffman on the heater. 2 down.
Well, the biggest thing that he's doing right now is he's pitching to the scoreboard. He knows that the Blue Jays are up by 2. Christian Vasquez isn't having a great season. He can pound the strike zone. Even if he does give up a home run, they still have the lead. He's doing a really good job of pitching to that scoreboard.
2 down. Byron Buxton will hit for the 5th time today. The pitch. Fastball just outside. Ball 1. And he's basically thrown only fastballs. He's thrown maybe 2 sliders so far in his 11 pitches. Buxton 0 for 3 with a walk. 1-0. Slider just misses outside. 2 balls, no strikes. Blue Jays leading 6-4 with 2 outs and the bases empty. Bottom of the 9th inning. 2-0 pitch. Called low. That's a perfect fastball at the knees, and the strike zone has gotten very interesting in the latter stages of the game. It's now 3-0 apparently. That could be a big call if it helps Buxton get aboard. Tying run is on deck. 3-0 pitch. Fastball over the plate, strike 1. Trevor Larnach is the on-deck hitter. He's had a nice day. 3-1 to Buxton. Fastball again at the knees, strike 2. They'll boo because Buxton stepped toward first base, and I don't blame them. At the same time, that's no doubt a strike.
That's a perfect pitch. A little bit of sink to it, too.
He doesn't throw the sinker a ton, but he's mixed it in here a couple times to Byron Buxton. Full count, 2 outs, game on the line. 6-4 Blue Jays. Hoffman to Byron Buxton. And he fouled it off of himself, did Buxton. Kirk ditched the mask there, thinking that he might have to scramble after it in fair territory, but they'll do it again at 3-2.
Kirk's taking no chances with Buxton at the plate. Knows he has to be really quick to any ball out in front of him.
Hoffman settles onto the hill. Right-hander set at the belt. Stands tall. Kicks and delivers. Up and in, ball 4. Missed with a heater. So Byron Buxton aboard, and that'll bring the tying run to the plate with 2 outs for the Twins.
And now you have to be careful with Trevor Larnach coming to the plate, a guy who has 9 home runs this season. Leave one over the middle of the plate. He can barrel one up and tie this ball game up. So you have to pitch a little bit differently now if you're Jeff Hoffman.
That'll get the closer Duran throwing for the Twins. Larnach with a homer in this game started the scoring in the first. Left-handed hitter bats with a runner on first, 2 outs. The pitch. Fastball called to strike. 0-1.
Sorry, Trevor Larnach has 10 home runs. He had 9 home runs coming into the ball game.
Blue Jays trying to keep it from 11. A look at first, the 0-1. Fouled back. Splitter over the heart of the plate. Larnach missed it, 0-2. Hoffman about to throw his 20th pitch of the inning. Blue Jays with a bullpen day today. Pieced it together to outpitch Bailey Ober in the middle stages. And that's why they have this 6-4 lead. 2 outs and the 2-strike pitch. Foul tip, strike 3. Jeff Hoffman punches out a trio and a big flex from the righty as the Blue Jays take the opener 6-4.
What a sequence from Jeff Hoffman and Alejandro Kirk. What a ball game. A lot of good things on both sides of the ball. A couple of good home runs, big home runs. Another one for Addison Barger. But how about this bullpen day? Blue Jays continue to impress on these bullpen days. Eric Lauer with a great game and a big win for the Blue Jays, now tied with the Twins.
Blue Jays go 5 games above 500 for the first time this year. We will wrap this game up on the other side and get you over to Blue Jays Talk with Show Ali. 6-4 Blue Jays, the final score. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming on the Sportsnet app and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Buck Martinez here to tell you about the huge Double XL free topping pizza from Pizza Pizza, just $19.99. That's a whopping 18-inch 3-topping thing of beauty for only $19.99. So hurry into Pizza Pizza today and bring a big appetite for a hot and fresh Double XL pizza. I'm loving this big voice. I may just call the game this way.
Go to pizzapizza.ca. Knock all your summer projects out of the park with home